podcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Hi, this is Leo Laporte, and this is my Tech Guy podcast. Yes, I'm back. This is episode 1913, recorded Saturday, July 30th, 2022. Enjoy. The Tech Guy podcast is brought to you by userway.org. Userway is the world's #1 accessibility solution, and it's committed to enabling the fundamental human right of digital accessibility for everyone. When you're ready to make your site compliant, deciding which solution to use is an easy choice to make. Go to userway.org/twit for 30% off Userway's AI-powered accessibility solution. And by CashFly. Deliver your video on the network with the best throughput and global reach, making your content infinitely scalable. Go live in hours, not days. Learn more at cashfly.com. Well, hey, how are you today? Leo Laporte here, the Tech Guy. Time to talk computers, the internet, home theater, digital photography, smartphones, smart watches. You know, you get the drill, all that technology jazz. Phone number, 888-827-5536. Toll free from anywhere in the U.S. or Canada. 8888 Ask Leo. And I'm going to give you all a chance to get through today. I'm going to say first-time callers, welcome. Preferred only. How about that? So I want to get some new folks on here. People who are going, oh, it's so hard to get in. Here's your chance. 8888 Ask Leo. That's the phone number. Outside the U.S. and Canada, you can still call. You just use Skype out or something like that. There's a website. When I say I'll make a note of that, I'll put it in the show notes, or I'll do something, I'll put it on the website. That's at techguylabs.com. techguylabs.com. And that's free. There's no toll charge to use that. And the way it works is it takes a little while. Sometimes we get the notes up there. We get the links up there. And then after that, we get the transcript of the show. We want a human to go through it because it's made by a machine. And you know how machines are. They're not, they do their best. Bless their little hearts. Bless their little cog-driven hearts. But, they make mistakes. So we get the humans who also make mistakes, but make a different kind of mistake. We get them to go through it. And I think between the two of them, we'll get something there in a day or so. Also, on Sundays, we put a link to all the songs that Professor Laura, our musical director, plays, in case you want that playlist. A couple people were confused about that. We do that on Sunday once during the weekend. techguylabs.com. Thank you, Micah Sargent, who filled in for me for the last 2 Saturdays. It's nice, isn't it nice to get a young person on there? He did a great job. Thank you, Micah. He's not here today. Because, and you may know, the reason I wasn't here last week is I got COVID on the Twit cruise, or thereafter at some point in traveling, and so we didn't want it. I thought, best stay home. So I did. But if you're at all worried, I've tested negative twice now, so I'm good. I'm not going to breathe on you. You're going to be okay. And yes, it was a fairly mild case. Both my wife and I got it and survived it because we have the vaccine and the boosters and, and we drank a lot of vitamin C, and I think we're all right. So thank you, Mike. It's nice. I think every once in a while to get a younger person. We old people, we have something, we got a little something going for us besides, bad knees. We got some institutional knowledge. Yeah, that's it. Some knowledge of how the things happened. I mean, I've been using DOS since 1.0 and Windows since 1.0 and Mac since, what was the original Mac OS? I got my first Mac in 1984 when they first came out. So whatever that was, System Naught, I don't know what that was. First Android phone, have it, got it. It's right behind me in my museum. Wouldn't want to use it today. First iPhone, have it, got it, right behind me in my museum. A lot of that stuff ends up in the museum sooner than you'd wish. Good news for the tech business this week. On Thursday, the CHIPS Act cleared Congress, now waiting for the president to sign it. $52 billion in subsidies to encourage chip manufacturers to build fabs, their semiconductor fabrication plants in the U.S. Yay. It's a $280 billion Chips and Science Act, all to make us more competitive. Some say, it's too late. China's already... But no, I think, hey, better late than never, right? Took a while. You know how it is. Everything takes a while in Congress. As a result, Intel will do the groundbreaking on a $20 billion foundry in Arizona. TSMC, the Taiwanese semiconductor manufacturing company, the company that builds all the big chips for the Apple iPhone, among others, opened their new fab in the U.S. This is good. This is good. It will also address the supply chain problem. Chips have been in a shortage, as you may have noticed. And it doesn't just hurt computers. It hurt, it's good luck finding a car. Some car manufacturers, I think it was GM, were leaving out the seat adjustment capability in their new cars because they couldn't get the chips. So supply chain issues, now, it takes a while to build a plant, like a couple of years. So it ain't going to solve that right away. But, hey, it's a step. It's a step. So I'm excited. I'm happy about that. I think that's a positive move. Bad news if you use Amazon Drive. There's Google Drive, there's Microsoft's OneDrive, there's Dropbox, there's Box, there's Apple's iCloud. These are all ways to store your data on servers. I'm not going to say in the cloud. I should be more clear, shouldn't I? On servers on the internet. Is that clearer? That's what the cloud is. Other people's computers up there on the internet. Amazon, maybe you didn't know this. Apparently, a lot of people didn't. Amazon had one too. Yes. It's called Amazon Drive, and it's shutting down next year. So for the 5 people using that, just, word of warning, you'll get an email. If you have files stored that are not Amazon Photos, that's an important one because I've been telling a lot of people, if you're an Amazon Prime customer, Amazon Photos is actually a great deal. Unlimited storage for the original versions of all your photos. Something even Google doesn't do anymore. Even Google now charges you extra for storage. Not Amazon Prime customers. So that will continue. So let's be clear. Amazon Photos continues. Although one does have to wonder, first of all, how much could it cost Amazon to run this? And they are an insanely profitable company. Starting January 31st of next year, no longer will you be able to start new uploads. And by the end of next year, you won't be able to view or download old content. So you've got to kind of migrate. Move it over. Move it on over. Move it on over. Amazon Drive. Nobody, who cares? Nobody even knows about that. This was a big week for tech company quarterly earnings. Do we care? If you're an investor in the stock market, that's the theory. You would care. How's this company doing? Should I buy their stock? That's the theory of all of these reports. Oh, we're doing great. We're not doing great. Except it seems to have, I don't know. I choose not to invest in tech stocks because I don't want to be, tainted. I don't want my opinion to be colored by an investment in the company. So I only have index funds, which means I guess some of the stocks are tech stocks, but I don't, it's not. I don't live and die by their success. But I did notice that the result did not seem to have much to do with the price. A lot of the stocks, even though they had terrible quarters, Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Apple didn't have a terrible, but even though they had weak quarters, a lot of their stocks would go up 5%. I think 8% in Apple's case, 8%, which is a big jump. My Apple friends say, well, it's not how they did last quarter. It's that it's going to be not as terrible next quarter. Okay, see, I guess this is why I shouldn't be buying stocks or certainly giving you any advice about stocks. Because to me, it's like, well, we expected this new house that we're buying, we expected it to have a hole in the roof. Hey, good news, it doesn't have a hole in the roof, it just has a hole in the floor, so let's pay more. That doesn't make a lot of sense. Does not not make any sense to me. But what do I know? You know, everybody had a little bit of a weak quarter because of supply chain. It's a problem, supply chain. But I think what most of the market is saying, and maybe this is true, is, hey, it ain't that bad, and there's a bright future ahead. Future's so bright, I've got to wear augmented reality shades. Okay. Okay. Good. Good. What else is what really impacts us? That's, I guess, what I should be talking about. The things that make a difference. Max Headroom's coming back. Yeah, no, not that. Twitter is raising the subscription of Twitter Blue from $3 a month to $5 a month. Yeah, nobody cares. Nobody cares. 88. I'm just going to punt. Leo Laporte, the tech guy, back in the saddle again. 8888 Ask Leo. Let's get some first-time callers on now. System 1, it was called. Thank you, Mike B. It was called System 1. There you have it. I don't know, they didn't probably call it anything, right? They just said Mac OS or Macintosh. It's Macintosh. I mean, I'm curious. I think, you know, it's like they didn't call it World War I. Right? They call it the Great War. What that happened in Severance? What happened? World War I. Yeah. Yeah, because they didn't know there was going to be another one. They were hoping. But I think Apple probably hoped there was another system, so maybe they did call it System 1. What was that? Over my right. Oh, my God! Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I like it. Let's do it. Yeah, Archandra says, that's why I call it the First World War. Now, something weird's going on with my Mac. It's been booting this whole time. That can't be. That doesn't seem right. Did Micah screw it up? Did Micah? Well, what? It doesn't like my account anymore. This has been the whole break. It did this. The war to end all wars. The big war. The big one. The Great War is, I think, what it was mostly called. But so really the question is, what did Apple say it was? They didn't, I think you don't need to call it anything. It's, you know, it's the system. It's the operating system. I don't even think they call it Mac OS or Macintosh OS or anything. 216 kilobytes. Wow. Wow. 6 files. System, which included the desk accessories, Finder, clipboard, an image writer, printer driver, scrapbook, and notepad. That's it. You see? You see, besides bad knees, us old-timers have memories. We don't remember them very well, but we got them. They're in there somewhere. Actually, I think it's the long-term memories that stay the best, right? The Macintosh system. Yeah, that seems like what it would be called. Finder was 1.0. All right, here we go. No, don't call that number. No.
Wrong number.
Wrong number. Sorry. Kim Schaffer, phone angel. Hello, Kim. You're isolated in your soundproof booth, which is good. At a great distance from me.
Yep.
Although it looks like, if you're watching the video, yes, there's video of this radio show, you're over my left shoulder.
I am over your shoulder, and I can look at you now. We can look at each other.
How are you is that a magic window you can look right through? That's remarkable.
John tried this with Micah last week, and I'm like, oh, we could actually look at each other now. Although,
but what do you see when you look at it?
The back of your head.
Okay. So if I look at you, are you there? Are you in that camera? Anyway, it reminds me of when I used to do a show for MSNBC called The Site way back in the mid-90s. I was a virtual reality character called Dev Null, and Soledad O'Brien, who was the anchor, would sit at a coffee bar and pretend she was looking at me, but she was really just looking at a piece of green tape on the wall. So we'll put a piece of green tape where your eye line should be. And you just pretend you're Han Solo looking at a Wookiee instead of a tennis ball. So who should I... By the way, how'd it go the last couple of weeks?
Micah did amazing.
Good.
So, yeah, he did an awesome job.
He's a... I'm trying not to say it, but I'm going to anyway. A talented kid.
He is a kid. He's not even 30 yet.
I know. But gosh darn it, he's
very
a smart,
talented. And
smart guy.
I'm here because these did nothing for me last night. So
what was that?
Mega Millions tickets.
Oh, you didn't. Did you?
Only when it's like 500 million and above.
Do I have to explain probability to everybody?
Oh, I know.
I don't want to be that guy, but I am.
But it's fun to think. It's fun to think.
Yeah, you dream.
Yeah.
That's what the lottery people tell you. That's what they say in the ads. Just imagine. But you understand when, I'm going to say it anyway, because this is a show about science and facts. When it goes up above $1 billion, or anytime
there's more people.
Many, many more people buy it. And as it turns out, you're not going to win more money because it's much more likely it'll be split. Now, I think somebody in Illinois did, in fact, get the one, right? Nobody else got it?
I don't know if it's a pooled, like it could be a business that's pooled.
Yeah, no, I don't mean, I'm not talking about that.
Yeah, only one. And then
only one.
Somebody in California, in Fresno, won $4 million on like the 5 number.
But somebody won $1.29 billion spread out over 100 years.
And they'll get like 300 million of it.
Total?
That's what I heard.
That's all you get?
Yeah, with all these stuff taken off top.
The government takes the rest?
Pretty much.
How can somebody live on 300 million?
I don't know. It's tough.
Well, you
it's
could
tough
barely
out there.
you could barely buy a mega yacht for that.
No.
I should call it mini millions. Wow. So okay, that's good. 1.37 billion in Illinois. All right, but you only get a few hundred mil.
Only a few hundred million.
Who should?
Let's go to Jamie in Tampa, Florida.
Okay, first-time caller, right?
I think I don't recognize him as a.
I just want to try this.
Yes,
I
need some new blood.
I got an email from a good friend who said, I keep hearing from the same 5 people all the time. And I thought, that's fair. There's plenty of people out there. Just because somebody's figured out the scheme that lets you dial in every single time.
Right.
Or something. I don't know how they keep getting in the same people. But good. Jamie, that's good. Thank you. Hi, Jamie in Tampa. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
Hey, Leo. How are you doing today?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Better than I deserve.
Oh, good. Yes.
So yesterday I had to get my iPhone's battery replaced.
Uh-oh. Which iPhone model was it?
It's the 2020.
Oh. Okay, so it was only a couple of years old. That's interesting.
Yeah, so I go to get it replaced, and the only Apple store is like 6 hours, or I forgot how far it is away from me now. But I went to an independent mom and pop shop to get it replaced.
Okay. Which in theory now, from Apple says is okay, as long as they're, whatever it is, certified, and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now I went in. I took an Uber to the Apple store, or not Apple store, the mom and pop store.
The I break you fix, yeah,
yeah, something like that. So I go in there and they fix it. It took about 20 minutes to do it, and then I get it back, and I get a message on my phone saying, "This battery is not Apple certified." I'm like, oh God, and the guy at the store told me. And I've been going to them for a few years, and they fixed my phones before with no problem. So he told me, he said, what happened is Apple, for some reason, doesn't want, even though we can fix them.
They want you to use official Apple parts is what they want you to do.
Yeah. And I've read, and now I'm racking my brain going, okay, now what? Because I really don't
nothing. Unless it's doing it every 5 seconds and driving you nuts.
I mean, it really the only time I ever see it is when I
first boot up.
Is when I go into when I go into the settings.
Oh.
When I go into the settings to do something else, and the phone works. I mean, it works. I mean, I
wouldn't worry about it then. I wouldn't worry about it.
Okay. Yeah, because I was learning about it.
There's a reason why you don't want to use kind of off-brand lithium-ion batteries. They can be hazardous if they're not properly made. But you trust this guy. You know, you could ask him, where do you get your batteries, and presume that he's smart enough to get good quality batteries. They don't have to be Apple branded to be good quality batteries. Huh?
I asked him that.
Yeah, what did he say?
I asked him. He said, yeah, we're getting them right from Apple, and he said there have been cases of people would go to the Apple stores to get their batteries done, and the same thing would happen. So
okay, so as long as you trust him, which sounds like you do, there's nothing to worry about. The reason you don't want to use off-brand batteries is they may have poor circuitry that allows them to be overcharged and burst into flame. If it gets really hot, bring it back. Otherwise, I think you're good. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Apple, so this is the other thing that may have happened, and he may be getting bit by this. Apple now, because they have a repair program that he can use and get the parts from Apple, blah, 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 there may be an additional step that he doesn't perform that runs it through some software that says, okay, certified, okay, good. And that could be what he didn't do. In other words, it could be an official Apple battery, but without being officially Apple certified. I think there's nothing to worry about. If the phone just every once in a while it's charging, see if it's really hot. It should get warm but not really hot.
I tested it because I'm the weird guy that plugs his phone in before he goes to bed every night, and tends to sleep with it playing iHeartRadio all night. But that's a different story. Yeah,
it should get a little warm because that's such hot talk.
Right. It's gonna right. So what I did was I plugged it in last night and woke up this morning and it was still at the regular temperature. So it hadn't overheated. It hadn't. Good. And obviously, if it had burst into flames, I would have heard smoke detectors blaring.
You would have known.
Right.
You would have known.
Right.
I think it's fine. Every once in a while, just check it. Make sure it's not getting really hot. It's just Apple being Apple. And by the way, for future reference, you can mail it. I know you don't want to. You want to get it done while you're in store. It is It's $49 for an iPhone SE battery. How much did he charge you?
He only charged me $35.
Perfect. So he's basically charging a small amount for labor. It's not a hard thing to do if you know what you're doing. I wouldn't worry about it. Yeah. And
being visually impaired, Leo, because I never told him, but I'm actually I'm visually impaired. And I really don't feel safe being without a phone.
Oh, absolutely understand. Yes.
Yeah, because
you don't want to mail it in. That's right.
Right. And apparently I was talking to another customer while we were because we both needed our batteries changed. And he explained that, Apple does this because they want to basically scare you.
Yeah, into using their service. Yeah.
Yeah, Apple is known for scaring the living daylights out of people because they're, oh my God, if you don't get this done, then like he told me.
There's some, in their defense, I agree with you. I think essentially Apple is responding to the right to the repair movement, but they're doing it in a very kind of, we call it malicious compliance, in a very kind of teenagery way. Like, okay, if you insist, but in their defense, there are legitimate potential issues with a bad battery. But as long as the guy who replaced it knows what he's doing and is getting batteries, if he says it's an Apple battery, then there's no issue at all. He didn't do that, whatever that last step was, to say to the phone, hey, no, it's okay.
Right. And one thing I noticed, Leo, is you're talking about right to repair, and it's hard to fix our stuff.
Yeah, Apple says, hey, you shouldn't fix it. We should fix it. It's our stuff.
Right, and one thing with Apple is they use this because a lot of people say Apple glues the battery in. They use this adhesive tape.
Yeah, you heat it.
That is that's very tricky to pull out.
Yeah.
But
I've done it. I know exactly what you're talking about. If you go to iFixit.com, they'll show you the process. And what they sell is these little blankies that you heat up in the microwave, and they warm up the phone and soften the glue, and then you can remove it. Did you watch the guy do the repair? Oh, you guess you couldn't watch him, but were you there while he did the repair?
I couldn't watch it, but I listened to it, and one of my friends, he described it to me. He said, though a lot of companies sell the kits that let you fix your own phone, he tried it himself, and it wasn't even 5 minutes until teeny-weeny screws began flying out of his
Yeah. They don't want you to do it. Hey, I got to run. Great to talk to you. I'm glad you got it done. Don't worry. And there, with a horn stab, we know it's time for the one, the only, the man who can play any wind instrument on site, Mr. Scott Wilkinson, home theater geek. Hello, Scott.
Hello, Leo. Welcome back.
It's good to see you. I know I sound a little congested, but I am fine. You sound a little congested too, actually. Are you okay?
No, I'm good.
Oh, good. Maybe it's my ears are congested. Scott is our expert in AV. That means flat screen TVs. That means home theater surround. I just want to ask you a question before you get into your thing.
Sure.
We have recommended in the past over and over the Vizio sound bars. Mm-hmm. And I bought an M Series sound bar that was only $300, which I maybe should have been the indication that maybe it wasn't going to be the best thing. I got the 2.1. It came with a sub, a really tiny sub.
Yeah, that's true.
And surrounds, even tinier surrounds. Actually, the full story might be appropriate for the show because I had a beautiful Sonos soundbar.
Oh yeah, those are great.
But it's Sonos 1.0, right? So it doesn't integrate. It's Sonos abandoned us basically.
Yeah.
And I kind of stopped working. I'd spent more than $1,000 on the soundbar and the surrounds and all that, and the sub and all that. And so I just said, well, I can't use it anymore because so I'm taking it out. Oh, but we've always recommended these M Series Vizio soundbars, so I bought that.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, I'm a little disappointed.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
It's a little tinny. It doesn't sound that much better than the TV speaker.
Oh.
Now, maybe I bought the one that's too cheap. Probably did.
Well, that may be.
I'll tell you the model, and you can tell me if I got the wrong one. It's the M Series 5.1 premium soundbar with Dolby Atmos, DTS:X, Bluetooth, et cetera. It was $342.09 on Amazon.
Well, and it actually has the physical surround speakers, the little
but they're the size of they're the size of an eyeglass case. They're not.
Yeah.
And they're wired, by the way, which is very annoying.
They're wired to the subwoofer.
Yeah.
And the subwoofer is wireless.
Oh, I guess I could put the subwoofer in the back of the room. Maybe that's what I should do. And then I can.
Correct.
Okay. You're right. The subwoofer's wireless. Anyway, we had reviewed another one that I thought sounded good. This is not what we had reviewed, but I think the other one was probably hundreds of dollars more.
Well, I just got the new Vizio M Series, what's called the M Series Elevate, which is technology migrated down from their higher end line.
Yeah.
And it's like that. It's a soundbar, wireless subwoofer, surround speakers, relatively small, but not tiny, that are connected to the subwoofer with wires. And it also has these little speakers, drivers that pop out of the end and rotate and angle upwards so you get your overhead sound with Atmos. And I think it sounds great.
Okay.
But
maybe it's just my ears. I'm very unimpressed. It feels like it's something came out of a Cracker Jack box. So,
well, I'm so sorry to hear that.
That's all right.
We can't then unequivocally recommend Vizio soundbars. I
apologize to anybody who's been buying those soundbars on and if you like it, it's my, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I have to say, I am gonna be, the reason I did recommend it, and you were here in the studio, tested the first one they did with Atmos, but that was, I think that was probably the most expensive version.
It was. I'm almost certain, and it was many years ago.
It was heftier too. It was bigger and heavier.
Much heftier.
Yeah. This thing.
Don't you still have that one?
Oh no, we returned it. We don't.
Oh, you did.
We don't keep that hardware. So we only use it for review. I wish I had it. I'm gonna toss this M Series and get a it's got an AV receiver on it, so I'm just gonna get regular speakers, and that
I
should have done that
in that case. I certainly would.
Yeah, I should have done that in the first place. Yeah. Anyway, but you like the Elevate? You think it sounds pretty good?
Yeah, I do. I think it sounds quite good, actually. I will be reviewing it probably on AVS Forum.
It's a lot more. I mean, it's $867.
Yeah.
So I think you get what you pay for. And
I would have to agree with that.
I was chintzy. Yeah. I was being cheap, and I got bit, And in a way,
sometimes,
it's important because sometimes people say, well, you recommend stuff that's expensive, but I think sometimes it's a foolish thing to buy something just because it's inexpensive, because sometimes it's going to cost you more. Like I'm now out $342 because I can't. It's just not good.
It's just not good. Okay, well, I'm sorry to hear that, and disappointed a little bit in Vizio for not, because I've heard a number of their inexpensive sound bars that I thought sounded really good, and this just happens to be one that doesn't. So.
Yeah. So I apologize if I've recommended the wrong sound bar to you, but the Elevate, if you're going to spend $867, it should sound good.
Oh yeah, and it does. Yeah. It really does.
Yeah. I like the idea of a wireless sub. That was that was cool.
Yeah, just put the sub in the back of the room, because you do have to connect the surround speakers.
That's what I'm going to do. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. But I feel like
if the whole thing sounds kind of tinny,
it's like a toy. Yeah. And when I opened the box and I looked at the sub, because there's definitely a correlation between the size of a subwoofer and the amount of boom you can get out of it.
Oh yeah, no doubt. And
this has barely any boom. It's the size, it's the size of my head.
Okay, I plugged ours in, and my wife said, "Whoa, where is all that bass coming from?"
No one said that. No.
Yeah. Okay.
No one said it was doing it, because I did the test, and
it worked. I could hear it making some sound. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Anyway, I'm sorry. Just wanted to update my recommendation on that one.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, quickly, I've got 3 quick things to talk about. One is I've got 2 things up on AVS Forum this week that I want to make sure people check out. One is my latest podcast, which is my interview with Peter Palomaki, who is a quantum dot expert. And we get into quantum dots at a super geeky level. So that's really fun. I highly recommend you check that out. And then the other one is my next home theater of the month, which is outside of Milwaukee. This guy built it himself with his own hands, everything. He and his family. He said,
even the speakers?
No.
Oh, okay.
He bought the speakers.
Oh, good. All right.
I mean,
I would have been impressed.
Yeah. Exactly. No. He built the room.
Oh wow!
Himself, and
I've seen people
his
do
whole
that.
family.
That's you got to be dedicated.
He said, "My daughters learned to prime and paint walls."
Wow! Is this one out? That's going to be episode 8.
Episode 7 is the podcast, and then home theater of the month is June.
See. That's a feature. I get it.
That's a feature, with a bunch of photos and stuff.
I see it now. Powered by Anthem.
Yes, we have a sponsor.
Well, congratulations. Oh, look at this home theater.
Isn't that amazing?
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
It looks like an actual kind of Gilded Age movie theater.
I know.
Wow,
and he built it himself.
That's pretty cool.
Almost entirely. He said he didn't do the drywall.
From the cinder blocks on up. Wow.
Uh-huh. Yeah, he said he didn't do the drywall mudding and taping, because he said, I've done that before and I was terrible at it. So
yeah.
He had somebody else do that. But it looks great. I'm sure it sounds wonderful. So check that out. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Now, the third thing I want to mention quickly before we run out of time is this is the weekend. As we speak, the Value Electronics
shootout.
EV shootout is happening.
Ooh.
And you can actually go watch it live. They're live streaming it. You can go to youtube.com/spare change. I have no idea why it's spare change, but there it is. Go watch it live. 5 4K TVs, 3 8K TVs today and tomorrow. And next week, I'll tell you the results.
Scott Wilkinson, Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Very exciting. Now, you're not going this year, I guess.
No. I decided not to go.
A wise man with BA5 going around. I've learned my lesson.
Yeah. I'm so sorry to hear that.
You know, the good news is I think because we were, quad vaxxed and all that, it was kind of like a cold. Lisa wouldn't agree. She took her 2 weeks.
Sick.
She had brain fog. She lost her sense of taste and smell. She had it pretty bad.
She had all the classic symptoms.
Yeah, and it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
For me, it was, and I'm still a little congested, but it was like a cold. It was just, it wasn't too bad. However,
That's what
one doesn't know ahead of time, right?
Yeah, exactly. You want to try to avoid it.
Yes.
I'm not ready to get on a plane yet or go. And the shootout is in a closed room for 2 full days with like 20 people. Yeah. So, no.
Which TVs are they looking at this year?
I'm sorry I didn't get to say this on the air, but they're looking at the 2 QD OLEDs. Okay, so the Samsung 65, and they're all 65-inch for the 4Ks. The 65 S95B Samsung QD OLED, and the Sony 65A 95K QD OLED. I don't know why the number 95 keeps coming up in these model numbers, but it does.
That seems silly.
I know. So anyway, they're looking at the two QD OLEDs, brand new technology. They're looking at the LG G2 OLED, straight ahead OLED, which is 1 level up above the C2, which I normally recommend, and 2 mini LED, quote unquote, regular LCD TVs, one from Sony and one from Samsung. And so they're doing it right now as we speak. The live stream is probably they're just looking at test patterns and content, and they have a bunch of
It's got to be
judges.
a very exciting live stream.
Now, my next podcast, which is in a week and a half, will have people who were there, and we're going to talk about the event and the results and all that stuff. One of the calibrators will be there. One of the judges will be there. The owner of Value Electronics will be there. So that's going to be a great conversation.
Here's the live. Let me see the live. See what's going on. Oh, they have a little open. That's why I was a little confused. Oh, they're on a break. That's what's going on.
Oh, are they on a break?
Yeah,
okay.
but this is what it looks like. Ooh, exciting. Very exciting.
Yeah. I was asked to be there. Robert Zone asked me to be there.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. You were the MC a couple of years ago.
I was. Caleb Dennison is doing that this year from Digital Trends, and he's very good. So, I have no problem.
So they show the same exact content on all the screens.
On all the screens, yep.
And I noticed a little tiny one in the middle there. I don't know why it's...
The little tiny one in the middle is the Sony... I've forgotten the model number. It's the X300. It's a broadcast monitor.
It's a reference monitor.
It's a reference monitor.
So they can look at that and say, oh, this is what it should look like.
This is what the content creators look at to make their content. And that's a $30,000 monitor at 30 inches.
Yeah.
So
it's for grading. It's specifically
for grading. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I love what Robert does, that he puts that in there.
Looks like Jaws. Looks like they're watching Jaws.
Well, they might be. I don't know.
Why wouldn't they watch something more modern? I guess it's an Ultra HD.
It might be an Ultra. Yeah, well, they're undoubtedly looking at mostly 4K content, so this might be a 4K remaster.
Yeah, interesting.
Or something like that.
You want to stick around for the top of the hour?
Yeah, sure, right. Happy to.
Stay tuned. This episode of The Tech Guy brought to you by userway.org. Userway.org. I'm talking about making your website ADA compliant, accessible. Not only is it the right thing to do, because you're opening up your website to a much larger group, 60 million plus people, you have a responsibility to make your site accessible. It's a public entity, so you got to make it accessible. And with UserWay, it's easy. That was my biggest concern was, oh, I can't afford it or it's going to be too hard. No, UserWay is really affordable and it's really easy. It's AI-powered. It tirelessly enforces all the accessibility guidelines, the WCAG guidelines. And I love this, so do our engineers. It's one line of JavaScript. That's it. Because UserWay is so good, it's used by more than 1 million websites, including the big guys, Coca-Cola, Disney, eBay. These are companies that really have to be accessible, and UserWay can do that. As you get bigger, they scale with you. If they can handle Disney, absolutely they can handle you. They make best-in-class, enterprise-level accessibility tools available to you, your small or medium-sized business. And then as you scale, you need UserWay, and you're ready. It just makes business sense. Some of the biggest problems, nav menus, very difficult. So the way this works, if you're blind or you're using accessibility tools, there is what they call an accessibility layer. That's what the screen reader sees. So really what UserWay does is make sure that all the information available to the front page to the sighted user is available to the browser in the accessibility layer. It changes colors. Now you've got your Pantone color for your business. Of course, we do too. It doesn't change that, but it adjusts hue and luminance so it's easier for people with vision issues to read. So UserWay will generate alt tags. That's one of the reasons it needs AI. It can actually see the picture and generate an alt tag that matches the picture automatically. You can go in if you want. You can modify it, of course. It fixes violations like vague links, fixes broken links, makes sure that your website uses accessible colors, and you'll get a detailed report of all the violations that were fixed on your website so you know exactly what it did. Plus, you can work with it. UserWay integrates seamlessly with your site builder software. Let UserWay help your business meet its compliance goals, improve the experience for your users. UserWay can make any website fully accessible, ADA compliant, and everyone who visits can browse seamlessly, customize it to fit their needs. It's a great way to show your brand's commitment to the millions of people with disabilities. It's the right thing to do. It's UserWay, and we use it too. UserWay can make any website ADA compliant, fully accessible. With UserWay, everyone who visits your site can browse seamlessly, customize it to fit their needs. It's also a great way to showcase your brand's commitment to millions of people with disabilities. It's just the right thing to do. Go to userway.org/twit, get 30% off UserWay's AI-powered accessibility solution. Book a short call, get their accessibility guide. I couldn't recommend it more highly. That's why we use it at twit.tv. UserWay, making the internet accessible for everyone. Visit userway.org/twit today. Leo Laporte, the tech guy, 8888 Ask. Leo, to come back around to this battery question. Remember, our first caller of the day had an iPhone SE from a couple of years back. He wanted to replace the battery. Did not want to bring it to Apple because he didn't want to mail it. He didn't want to be without his phone, and the Apple store was 6 hours away. So he brought it to a local independent repair facility, which Apple says is okay as long as they get Apple parts and they're Apple certified, blah, blah, blah. In fact, we have a local one I've used where they're Apple certified, and it should be identical to getting it done by the Apple store. Price was right for our caller, but now every once in a while when he checks his battery, it says, this is not an official Apple battery, even though he says the guy who replaced it did put an Apple battery in there. He bought it from Apple. So what's going on? And there's two interpretations of this. One, that Apple really doesn't want you to do your own repairs. And I think people think that this is a profit center for Apple. Apple is very clear. We don't make money on repairs. And I believe them. Because they want to price them as low as they can, because that's part of the decision in buying a phone, right? They make the money on the phone. They're not trying to make money on you on the repairs. And I think that's reasonable. So I believe Apple, in other words, when they say, oh, we don't make money on repairs. I think you can eliminate that as a motive for keeping people from going to independent repair shops. I think they really do want to keep control of it, however, because, and this is very Apple-y, they want the best user experience possible. Which means if you, for instance, go to a repair shop and you get a battery and you get this warning, that's not a good user experience. And it might make you nervous, as it did our caller. And, so I guess, in my opinion, they maybe should make it easier for third-party repair companies to give you a good experience. That might be better. They've got to recognize not everybody lives next door to an Apple store, and not everybody can let their phone be gone for a few days to get it repaired by mail. So until Apple opens a repair shop on every corner, you got to allow third-party companies to do it and do it right. I think Apple's trying to do this, but I don't think they're succeeding just yet. That's, I guess, my take on that. Nevertheless, there's a reason to beware of third-party batteries. If they're poorly made, they can cause problems, including, not limited to, but including fire and explosion. That's not good. All lithium-ion batteries have circuitry in them to prevent overcharging. And what happens when you overcharge a lithium-ion battery is to keep pumping electrons into it. After it's reached its capacity, it starts to heat up, it starts to swell, it can puncture the material encasing it. There's volatile liquids in there, harmful to you, which expand, and when meeting oxygen can actually burst into flame, and then ultimately, if it's too tight a space, what happens when you have rapid oxidation? A fire inside a very, very enclosed space. It expands very rapidly, blows the phone up. That's not a good outcome. So it is true that sometimes, it's risky to buy batteries from just some random person. Certainly would be preferable to use Apple official batteries. He says, the repair guy says that's what he's using. Fine. Then there might be, and I suspect there is, Apple does this, an additional step at the end of the repair where you plug it in a machine, the machine goes, okay, that's all okay, and gives it the seal of approval so that you don't get that warning anymore. If that's all it is, I wouldn't worry about it. The warning's annoying, but you're not at risk. If it's really an Apple battery, you're fine. There are other security concerns. For instance, when on the phones with Touch ID, which that SE has, if you replace the screen, you're also replacing the fingerprint reader. There are security concerns, and Apple's very aware of this, and they're trying to figure out a way to make it possible to repair screens, which are the things that break most often on phones, and maintain the security of your fingerprint recognition, of your Touch ID. That's more complicated and does, again, require connecting it to an Apple machine to certify it, say it's okay. But I think, to be fair to Apple, I don't think they're trying to protect their monopoly on repair because they make money on it. I really don't think so. They have other pretty much legitimate reasons for saying, no, we want to repair it. Dennis is on the line from Monrovia, Wisconsin. Hi, Dennis. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
Yeah, first-time caller.
Yay! I love that. Welcome.
Wow, thank you. So I have a 2021 QLED Samsung 65-inch smart TV.
You just woke Scott up. I saw him sit up abruptly. Okay, yes.
And it's hooked up to a RXV 379 Yamaha receiver.
Okay.
Sound works great when I'm watching DirecTV, everything. I mean, it just works perfect. I reset the TV and the Yamaha receiver because I was having some issues, and everything is working fine except for I'm watching TV. The sound is perfect. I hit the Netflix button on my smart TV remote, or I go to the app on the bottom of the TV and select Netflix, and there's no sound on Netflix at all. If I hit the button and go back to standard television, the sound is there, and then if I flip right back and go to Netflix, now I've got sound. I have to do that procedure.
This is crazy. This is crazy.
It's really weird.
It's very common, I have to say. Getting the sound to work. I beat my head against a wall for 3 days this week, having the same problem. At first, I would have said, Scott, oh, you're not on the ARC, the audio return channel on the TV, but it's how come you can get it working again?
That's a mystery
puzzle.
to me. It is a puzzle.
Yeah.
'Tis a puzzlement.
So normally the way it works, you'll see on your TV, you'll have a number of HDMI ports, but one's labeled ARC, or even better, if you've got an eARC, your modern TV probably does have eARC. That's the HDMI port you want to use.
Yeah, it tells me to use port number 3.
Okay, that's the one that
is that the one labeled ARC?
Yep.
Okay. Then
I think it is eARC.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. With that, it's a brand new TV. The Yamaha is it a Is it Dolby? Is it a modern AV receiver?
Yeah, it's a pretty new receiver.
Okay.
It's a Yamaha 379.
Sometimes that's a problem where the receiver can't understand what it's getting back from the eARC. You know, it's getting an encoded signal, and the receiver goes, "What's this?" In fact, I think it's going to be this. Is my guess, Scott. I want you to weigh in a handshaking issue, where the first time the receiver or is saying, "I don't. What am I getting here? I don't know," and not playing anything back. The second time it tries again, and the handshake happens, and it says, "Oh, you're sending me DTS surround. I can handle that," and then it decodes it.
That makes sense to me. I don't know for sure, but
I would check the audio settings on the Netflix app, the audio settings on the TV, the audio settings on the Yamaha, and then I hate to say it, but sometimes it really does matter what order you turn these devices on.
That's absolutely true.
That's so nuts.
And I'm not getting any sound. Like if I select, go down and not select Netflix, but I select free TV on my app, I don't get any sound there at all either.
And it never works.
And that never works. I can't.
Okay.
I can't.
You can't go back to the TV and then back to that, and it works.
No, I can't get it to work.
This is a great puzzlement.
It is.
I was thinking of doing a reset on the TV again and see what happens.
Yeah, I've done that, and that sometimes does help. It's kind of telling
Was it
the TV.
working before you did all the resetting?
Yes, it was working before I did all the reset, but there was something going on with the receiver, so I did a reset. I had called Samsung, and they told me to do a reset on both, and I did that, and now I've got this problem. So that didn't help.
I wonder if the reset also downloaded an updated firmware that had a problem in it.
I don't know.
I don't know. As Leo says, 'tis a puzzlement.
It's always this. I wish this worked better. The other thing, and I didn't even bring it up, we're running out of time, is CEC can also cause issues. Ay, 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 ay. We got a break. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Thank you, Scott. Hang on, Dennis, because we can continue to discuss. In the break. Okay.
Dennis, what was the model of the TV and the receiver again?
The receiver is a RXV 379 Yamaha.
Let me just quickly look that up. Hang on a second. RX-V 793?
No, 379. RXV 379.
Let's see here. When did that come out?
You think maybe it's the
I would
receiver?
say it's probably about, I don't know, 4 years old, maybe.
It's possible the receiver can't understand.
Okay, well, it's discontinued, so
Yeah.
it is kind of older, but I mean, semi-older. 4 years being old is like, what? Let's see here. I mean, it obviously does accept ARC, undoubtedly not eARC, but
Maybe
that's okay.
You think that's the problem?
I don't think so. What's the model of the TV again?
It's a Samsung 65-inch QLED.
But you don't know the exact model number?
Oh, yeah, I can give you the exact model number.
Do you think he needs a different HDMI cable? Shouldn't.
Well, again, it worked before.
So it's a Samsung QN43QN90 AAFXZA.
Okay, 43QN90 is really kind of all I need.
That's not.
Yeah, that's pretty new.
Yeah.
That's pretty darn new, actually. QN90A, 43-inch. That's a 2021, so that shouldn't be any problem whatsoever. You don't happen to have like an outboard streamer, do you? Like a Roku or an Apple TV or something like that?
Nope.
Okay.
Nothing like
You're using
that.
the internal apps on the TV, and that's what you're using it for.
Nope. Yep, and it was working, like I say, just fine prior to.
Yeah, this the fact that it stopped working after the update makes me think that the update did something. And what updates sometimes do is they...
it wasn't an update, it was a reset.
A reset. But sometimes the reset will update. We'll do an update.
Oh, I wonder.
That's my question.
Yeah.
And you did a reset on the receiver as well.
Yes.
Well, the receiver is older. So
Yeah, my settings on my TV say HDMI-eARC mode, and it says off.
Oh.
Maybe turn that on.
Yeah, I'll put it to auto once.
Yeah, and also, I always like to turn off or on CEC and play with that because CEC.
Right, I would turn it off at this point.
There's another one that says digital output audio format, and that's on auto, and there's a selection for PCM also. But I don't have a digital output hooked up.
Well, that could also apply to the ARC signal as well. I would play with that. I would maybe the only options are auto and PCM, right?
Yeah, let me hit Netflix once and see what happens.
Not Bitstream.
Do you want Bitstream sometimes?
Not necessarily. I think PCM would probably be more likely
Guess
to work.
What?
Yeah,
it's working.
Oh my God!
Did you set it? Did you set it to PCM?
I set it to PCM and I set it to ARC auto.
Yep.
And I went. I'm gonna turn.
I'll bet you I know what happened when you reset. It reset those parameters back to the factory settings.
Oh yes, of course it did. Of course it did. That's exactly it. Mm-hmm. And those weren't the settings you want.
Correct.
Got it.
Obviously not. So I turned the TV off and the receiver off. Now I'm going to hit.
Yeah, let's see. This is the part where I want to hang up on you and say, thank you for joining us, and we're glad we solved the problem. Bye.
Yeah, right. And then it doesn't solve the problem, right? Yeah.
I won't do that.
So we shall see here.
It works.
Oh, we fixed it. So I'll recap when we come back. The reset of the TV reset to default parameters, which in fact weren't the proper parameters. You want eARC to be on auto.
Yep.
And what was the other thing?
Digital audio out to PCM.
PCM, digital audio.
So I did both of those things, and now when I flip to Netflix or I go to one of the shows,
the free TV app,
they both work.
Yay!
Yay!
We solved it.
Well, till next week.
Right.
Hey, thank you. I'm glad you called, and I'm glad Scott was still here. Dennis, good job.
Yeah, man.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Oh, my God. I can't believe it. I think that's a first.
Oh, Mike Heiss here had something about reset, too. What did Mike have to say in the chat room? Let me try to scroll.
Scott is also correct. Always try PCM first, see if it works. Bitstream may or may not work with his system combination, is what he said.
Yeah, Mike said the same thing. Resets often put settings back to factory.
Yeah.
So he needs to make sure that ARC is turned on for both sides.
Perfect.
Exactly so.
Perfect. Yay.
Yay.
Now you can have 2 minutes and 52 seconds to talk about anything you want to talk about.
Hello, everybody. I do hope you go check out my home theater of the month and latest podcast. I'm quite proud of both of them, so hope you enjoy. Mike Heiss, yes, I'm also correct. Always try PCM first and see if it works. Bitstream may or may not work. That's true. Bitstream, by the way, for those of you who don't know, is Dolby Digital, or DTS, undecoded. It's the encoded bitstream. And the receiver should be able to decode Dolby Digital or DTS, but if it's some other bit stream that happens to be coming from an app, then might not. So let the TV do the decoding.
Okay.
And it decodes to PCM, and everything can understand PCM. So let's see. Tech Dino's asking about the new house. We are so pleased to have we will have a new house here in Santa Cruz that'll be our very own. Hey, Loquacious. Always good to see ya. Always good. Hey, K Woods. Yep. Just put a down payment on or a deposit down on my new hot tub for the new house. Woohoo! That's very exciting. Next week we have a designer coming in to help us design the remodel that we're going to do. We're going to put a third bathroom into the house, so that's very exciting. We don't even have to move in right away, and we can do it slowly. It's only a couple miles away. All very exciting. Hey, Gumby, good to see you. Friendly Manitoba, always good to have a friendly face. Jamez, or Hamez. So Sony or Samsung OLED? This is a very good question. I am going to be getting one of them, and I'm going to be doing research, and I will share my research with you as I do it about which one to get. The Sony is $1,000 more expensive.
All right, Scott, thank you.
My pleasure.
Well, hey, how are you today? Leo Laporte here, the tech guy. Time to talk computers and the internet and internet and home theater and digital photography and smartphones and smartwatches. 8888 Ask Leo is my phone number. If you want to talk high tech, I'd love to talk high tech with you. 888-827-5536. That's toll free from anywhere in the U.S. or Canada outside that area. You could still reach us, but you'll have to use Skype, something like that. Skype out, something they call a phone number. Should be free still. Show notes go at techguylabs.com. I don't know how I'm going to put this in a show note, but we did, after some time, Scott and I, and mostly Scott, entirely Scott, figured out what was going on with the TV, and I'm happy to say the last caller of the hour, we were able to send him away a happy customer and ring the problem solved bell. Ding, 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 ding. So it turned out, in case you're interested, it turned out, and this is something probably to put in your back of your brain and make your note of, the reset of the TV and the Yamaha, as recommended by the manufacturer, was the first step, the right first step, but it wasn't the last step. It set everything back, as you would expect, to factory defaults. And he then needed to go in, Dennis needed to then go in and do a couple more things. First of all, set eARC, which he had turned off, to auto. So that means that the HDMI cable plugged into the TV talking to the receiver will, if the receiver understands it, send it things the receiver can handle. So turn that to auto. And then most importantly, and this is interesting, set the output of the TV not to some encoded thing, not to bitstream, but to PCM, which is essentially saying, you don't do anything, TV. Don't try to decode it. Let the Yamaha, let the receiver handle it. Send the receiver the PCM content, and then the receiver will decode it. And having done all that, we're happy to say we don't normally have the time to do this on the air, but he stuck around during the news break. A success. So we ring the problem solved bell, which I should get. I should get a little ding ding ding, because the problem is we rarely need it. Trevor is next on the line from Cledburn, Texas. Hello, Trevor.
Hello, sir. So my question is, I'm a school teacher.
Oh, wait a minute, I got it wrong. Don't do PCM, do bitstream. Sorry. Vice versa. PCM does send it out encoded. Bitstream is the one you want. Thank you for the correction. Chat room. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yes. So I'm a school teacher. I talked to you last month about a video thing. We're going to get that Black Magic item. We were doing TV broadcast. But
yeah,
my current problem is this. So we had the old laptops. The screen was 4:3, the projector that they had bought years ago, it can do 16:9, but when you do 16:9, it's really, I guess the word thin, I don't know the correct terminology. So now I have a 16:9 laptop and a kind of 4:3 projector.
Right.
And now I can change the resolutions on the projector. I can change the resolutions on the computer. The best thing I can do to get the biggest screen is it's an Epson projector, is to go to native resolution.
That's right.
And then make my Chrome browser smaller and fit it on the screen. I was just curious if there was any other device or any other strategy, because even by going with native, making the Chrome browser small, and if I make it full screen, it cuts it off. It cuts off part of the browser.
We have this problem all the time because we have computers that are one resolution, one aspect ratio. That's what that 16:9 is called, aspect ratio. And then we send it to a device so that we can broadcast it. That's a different aspect ratio. You've got 16:9, which is the modern widescreen aspect ratio on your computer, but the projector's older, and it's doing the old 4:3, which is, that's the I Love Lucy aspect ratio. That's the
what I'm saying is I can put it in 16:9, but it gets so small.
Yeah, what you'll get is bars, right, at the top and bottom. It's showing everything that's on the 16:9 screen, but it's a different shape. So, so the only way a 4:3 shape can display a 16:9 shape is to stretch the 16:9 all the way left to right and then put black bars at the top and bottom where there's nothing. But you don't want that. So what you want to do is tell the computer. In fact, the computer should kind of do this automatically. When you look at the display settings on the computer, there are two displays. There's the native display on the computer, but then there's the display that projector's capable of. It should be, and maybe it's not seeing the projector or it doesn't understand what the projector's capable of, it should be seeing that that's a 4:3 display and then adjust it. Now, what will happen often, you're mirroring the display from your computer onto the projector.
That's right.
What will happen then is your projector will look fine, 4:3, but your screen on your computer is going to have black bars on the left and right now all of a sudden, right?
Yeah.
Does that happen?
Well, right now I'm mirroring it, and so
maybe if you set it as extended, it would work a little bit better. It might be worth a try anyway. What that says is I have two screens. They don't have to match. So I can have 16:9 on my screen on my computer, and then you'll have to drag Chrome to the right or left, drag Chrome to the projector, and then the projector will be displaying it at 4:3. But it's going to look like 4:3. I mean, I understand that what's happening now is that Chrome, everything's giant. You can adjust Chrome to make text smaller and stuff like that, but that's what happens because the screen aspect ratio is smaller than the widescreen, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm currently in my classroom, so I'm gonna.
So that's a couple of things to play with. One, make sure that the display control panel sees the external screen as a 4:3 screen, and if you can get a driver for that projector, that might help. All a driver is, a display driver is a list of as a text file with a list of things that the screen can do, and if it knows that the screen can only do 4:3, then Windows should say, oh, fine. If it's mirrored, we'll both be 4:3, and if it's extended, I'll be 16:9, and that silly old projector will be 4:3. So
I just did that right now.
Yeah,
and when I went from mirroring to extended, and that solved my issue. I got a nice, full, big image now on my emitting from the projector.
I think I really do need a problem solved, Bell. This is the first time ever. Holy cow. Okay, I'm not. This is where I hang up on you before you figure out I screwed you up. Okay?
No, it looks great.
Okay, good. Woo!
Well, you have a great day, sir.
All right. Hey, I'm glad. Thank you for being a teacher. That's especially now. That's a very important job. What do you teach?
I teach third grade math and science. The town's called Cleburne, south of Fort Worth.
I mispronounced it. I'm sorry. I said Cledburn. I'm so sorry. Cleburne.
Yeah,
I know Cleburne.
And but I've taught for several years. I've taught K through 5 computers, 7th and 8th computers, 9 through 12 high school journalism. So I've seen everything from pre-K to 12th. But my favorite is 3rd and 4th.
I love that age. I really do. They're so adorable. But how are they doing? You're now in person again, yes?
Yeah, we March 2020 to May 2020, school was shut down. But in Texas, back in August 2020, went back to normal.
Good.
And there's definitely
there's an impact, isn't there?
Gap. There's huge impact, especially on. In my case, in math, it's subtraction regrouping when you're doing like 61 minus 27.
They forgot it all. They forget it all.
Yeah, that's the big thing I work on. But it's people like you and my friends and everybody helping out that we
nice
parents and administrators we're all in this together to make a better world.
You better. You bet. You're doing the most important job in the world, if you ask me. So thank you for doing that work. All right, Trevor. Have a good one.
Have a great one.
I appreciate it. 8888 Ask Leo, the phone number, 888-827-5536. I'm going to go get me a bell. And when we come back, we'll take some more calls. Leo, do you want me to do, you're pausing for some reason, Professor Laura. Do you want me to do something now or?
No.
No. You're just waiting for me to say, take it away? Or, thank you. Oh, you can't hit that button too soon either, can you? All right.
That's what they say.
It's been a while, I forgot how to do this thing called radio. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Yeah, we won't tell Trevor. We forget everything we learned the minute school ends. Don't tell him that. I still know how to do subtraction. I do. I know how to do the grouping. I do. So, yeah, I apologize. Bitstream, not PCM. Sorry about that. I almost screwed it. Somebody said you snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. Bitstream. PCM is an encoded. That's the TV doing the encoding. Bitstream is just whatever you get, you pass it along to the Yamaha. The hammer, yeah. Yamaha. Anyway, his problem, right. He's fine. Wait a minute, Scott. No, wait a minute. Now you're saying, wait a minute. I thought you, oh, God, I'm going to just.
Leo, am I on?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's PCM?
Yeah, you got it backwards, man. I'm sorry to say.
Well, wait a minute. The first time I said PCM, and then everybody, and I thought you said, no, Bitstream.
No. I said PCM. I said don't do Bitstream.
So I said, oh, God. I said it right the first time.
You did.
And then everybody in the chat room said, no, you got it wrong.
No.
Oh, son of a.
I know. I'm so sorry. But here's the deal. You want to set the TV to output PCM. PCM is not encoded.
That's what I thought.
You are correct the first time. And so the receiver will be able to understand it.
So I said it right, and I'm seeing in the chat room, you said it's the other way around.
You said it. Yeah, when you said it was when you said set the TV to output bitstream, that's when I said no, it's the other way around.
Okay.
You set the TV to output PCM. Let the TV do the decoding. Its apps are going to get Dolby Digital or DTS or whatever bitstream. The TV does the decoding, sends that PCM to the receiver, and the receiver won't have any trouble with it.
All right.
Anyway,
we got it right. Yeah, I said it right the first time, in other words.
You said it right the first time.
Yeah, and then I saw your post saying it's the other way around, and I switched it. So anyway.
But I'm telling you, I wrote that post after you switched it yourself and said, no, you set it to PCM.
That's why I switched it. Why would I have switched it?
You set it to Bitstream. I don't know why you switched it to Bitstream.
I switched it because I saw the chat room.
Well, it was a negative feedback loop here then.
I'm looking at it right here. It's the other way around. That's the first thing, and I was responding to that. I don't understand it. Anyway.
Well, I wrote that after you changed it from PCM to Bitstream.
Why would I have changed it, though?
I have no
I don't
idea.
understand.
I don't know. That's why I wrote it.
This is the
I
first
don't
mention in
know.
the chat room. That's why I'm thinking it was because of that I changed it. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Thank you, Scott. So just like Humphrey Bogart, who came to Casablanca for the waters, I was misinformed. I want to correct my correction of the correction. One more time, and I'm convinced I'm correct at this point. eARC Auto and set it to PCM, not Bitstream. PCM, which is what I said the first time. Anyway, we got it now. Megan on the line from San Diego, California. Hi, Megan. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
Yay! You are my superhero.
Yay! Thank
Yay!
you.
I'm calling because I have a question regarding spam texting.
Okay.
I have an LG Stylo 5, and when I figured out how to hit it, the text and get report spammer. I got through that. I was wondering, is there a way, because I'm still getting...
You notice it does nothing, right?
It does absolutely nothing. And I don't know if I have like the RoboKiller on my cell phone, which is great. I can take care of that. I can block calls on my mom's old Panasonic, which I'm talking to right now because my phone is sitting in front of me, my cell phone or my smartphone.
Yes.
And so that I hit call block and it works. And this is a 1980s Panasonic, right?
Right.
And so I would love to have something where I could say block it.
Here's the problem, and you're not alone, and this is a nightmare.
Yes.
And you can blame a couple of things. I'm blaming now the FCC because they keep changing the deadlines.
Oh,
so,
okay.
First of all, those spam texts, and robocalls too, for that matter.
Yes.
Those things are coming from bad guys.
Yes.
Most of the time out of the United States, although not always. In fact, they arrested a guy a couple of years ago who had sent some billions of spam robocalls. He was doing it out of Florida. They got him, but that's why most of these people are offshore. But here's the most important thing to know. They change the originating phone number all the time.
Yeah, they use like the spoofing thing.
Yeah, sometimes it'll be not only your area code, but your exchange. So you think, oh, this must be the school calling or,
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then the other problem is this actually sometimes doesn't even come from an area code I know or anything.
Right.
And so they'll be random. And I would just love to be able to do the
blocking. Here's the problem. Blocking only blocks that phone number.
I know, but I still would love to block just any...
But do you notice that any of those numbers ever repeat? No. Because they're randomly chosen. So you're blocking a number that's never going to come up again. Here's why I blame the FCC. The only way to stop this is to make people use their actual numbers, right? Instead of some fake number.
Right.
Because then a block would work.
But then the only problem I'm concerned about is if, like, let's say I get that number and let's say I put it in my phone and then I block that number from texting or calling me. I don't want them in my contacts because that's the only option.
Well, they shouldn't be in your contacts.
No, but I was told that I should, put the phone.
Oh, no. Yeah, that's an even worse solution.
I know. They said hit the add button.
No. That's an even worse solution. Because then
that the worst?
Yeah, no. When you normally what reporting it should do is report it to your carrier, who will then block that number. But as I said, who cares? They're never going to use that number again. You think spammers are dumb?
Well,
they're evil, but they're not dumb.
The same numbers. But definitely the exchanges are always the same.
Yeah, but you can't block an exchange. You don't want to block an exchange, right?
I know I thought maybe I could just block that these exchanges.
So again, there is a solution. FCC has had this in hand for some time. It's something called Stir and Shaken. And somebody somewhere is a James.
Stir and Shaken?
Yeah, but it's not going to help you. Hold on.
Okay. I thought, it's like James Bond.
It's James Bond.
Yeah.
And what it does is it says to the person, the phone company, because every call has to come from a phone company somewhere. To the phone company, you have to use technology that authenticates this phone number that says, yes, this phone number is from a subscriber on my service. And then on the other end, your phone company, T-Mobile, AT&T, Verizon, whoever it is, your phone company has technology that says, oh, okay, that's verified, pass it on through. And this would be a great solution, except the FCC keeps putting off implementation.
Oh, geez.
So the phone companies are ready to do it.
They're ready to do it.
They're ready to do it. The FCC, I think probably because companies said, well, wait a minute, if we have to implement this, it's going to cost us a lot of money or it's going to cause a lot of problem. So, in theory, on June 30th, which was a month ago, all the large companies had implemented Stirred and Shaken. But here's the problem. The bad guys don't use AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon. They use, the Jamaica phone company, So small carriers were allowed an extension.
Okay.
And now the good news is the world is shrinking for these spammers. So the extension means that only small voice service providers that have facilities, that have a building, cannot do this. Everybody else, the big companies and the little guys who don't have a facility, have to have changed this by June 30th. At that point, your phone company can say, that is not authenticated. That is not coming in. The company that's originating this call is not validating that it's a genuine call, so we're not going to take it. Now, we realize why the phone company doesn't do that, because they don't want to block a call that you want from your mom in Jamaica. So they've got to be careful about this. But ultimately, and I can't remember when the next date is. I think it's a year off or something. Once all the carriers in the world are using this, then you can go to your phone company and say, why aren't you blocking unauthenticated calls? And then unauthenticated calls that the originating company doesn't say, yes, this person's a subscriber and this is their actual phone number, not some made-up phone number. Once that happens, it's going to go away. And I think because the bad guys know this, there is an onslaught now. They're more than ever because they're going, this is it, last chance, got to do it. According to the FCC, there were 4 billion robocalls a month in 2020. A month.
Well, I'm getting more the spam robos.
You're getting spam texts and stuff. Yep.
More than anything.
And again, same thing, because this is their last chance.
And I've been really happy. Well, so I have Verizon, and they do have a spam feature, and it says potential
Use
spam.
it. Yep.
I do it. It doesn't work.
Add your number to the National Call Do Not Call Registry. Yes, because none of this stuff works unless the caller is a law-abiding citizen. Guess what? They're not.
They're not.
They're not. So now it's going to come down to the phone companies rejecting those calls because they say, well, we don't know who you are. Once they do that, it'll be history. Let's cross your fingers. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. There's an FCC page on all this that you might want to go to. I'll put it in the show notes. Oh, she hung up. Oh well. I'll put it in the show notes right now. Whoa, that's wrong. What's that? What's that? Hey, Johnny Jet.
Leo, how are you?
I am sick as a dog. No.
COVID?
I got COVID on that cruise.
Oh, my God. You know what? I was going to send you an email saying that my friend just got off that cruise on July 9th. She took the July 9th one, and she said everyone on the ship got COVID.
Yeah. Well, I don't think everybody on the ship got it this time, but in fact, I think the cruise line, somebody told me the cruise line said 60 people got it. I don't think that.
Okay. Well, she was like, she said she was so careful. She wrote a post on it.
Yeah, we could talk about this. I mean, the good news is because I'm vaccinated, just like your dad, it was very mild. Yeah. Lisa got it a little bit worse than I did, but both of us are clear now. So. And
you're both double boosted, or?
Yep, double boosted.
See, I'm not double boosted. I'm only single boosted.
Well, now you can't get double boosted because
they're coming out with a new one.
Coming out with a new one in the fall, which will be preferable because it'll cover Omicron. Actually, supposedly they say, we'll see, it'll cover all the variants.
Although I think you still can get double boosted. I was just watching one of the doctors on TV.
Maybe. You can if you're over 50, for sure you can.
Well, I just turned over 50, so.
Oh, congratulations. You're that old? Damn, you look like you're 35.
I appreciate it.
Damn. I mean, darn. Shucks. That's impressive. That's impressive.
I'm the same age as J-Lo, and the girl from a lot of those stars, Jennifer Aniston.
I know, they all look good. How come I'm so wrinkly? Anyway, the good news was it was very mild. Also the good news, I shouldn't say this, was I started getting a sore throat towards the, like about halfway, maybe Wednesday or Thursday, right? And you're supposed to go to the ship's doctor, at which point they probably put you in ship jail. I don't know what they do.
They quarantine you.
Yeah. So I just had to cross my fingers and maybe it's just a cold, maybe just a cold. I didn't have any tests with me, so maybe just a cold. When I did test, I found out, it wasn't a cold. But I did self-quarantine.
So how'd you test?
I was very careful. Well, we got some tests later.
Okay.
But I was very careful. Anyway, I hope I didn't spread it. I don't think I did. I was really careful. Really, really careful.
So do you think it's possible that it comes from the air conditioning unit? Because I thought they were
No. In fact, I brought with me that carbon dioxide monitor.
Yep.
And everywhere in the boat was as if it was outside.
Okay.
400 to 500 carbon dioxide. It was fresh air. It was as good as if you were outside, which I think the ships, I'm sure, blow fresh air into the whole darn thing.
You would think.
Yeah.
But
no, it wasn't stuffy anywhere. It was really impressive. I think probably it wasn't even the ship. It was probably the airport and the plane, frankly.
Right.
But here's the point. Lisa and I are very careful. We wore our masks. We wiped everything down. We were always very, very careful, except eating and drinking on the airplane. Right? So I just don't know. I think BA5 is so contagious.
Yes.
That it's even now I'm wearing, even though I've tested negative twice now, I'm okay. But now I'm wearing this respirator, which is a hardcore, no air escapes at all because it's got a rubber gasket. And I feel like I've been told this is a good choice.
American Airlines blocks someone from letting them wear them.
It's scary looking.
But
nobody was masked anywhere, by the way. Nobody. And I talked to a few people who said, well, we've had Omicron. We just want to live our lives. And I understand that. I really do.
Right.
Now that question's for me. What should I do? And I'm going to just continue to be extremely careful. Here we go. Tech Guy Podcast brought to you, and I mean brought to you literally, by those good folks at CashFly. We've been with them for 10 years now, more than 10 years. They solved a big problem, which is we had podcasts. First audio, then video, and it was getting harder and harder to get those out to our listeners. CashFly came along, and man, it's been nothing but golden ever since. And now CashFly has some new features. So what is CashFly? It's a CDN, a content delivery network with more than 50 points of presence all over the world. That's a good thing for us because it means when you're downloading our shows, you're getting it from a server that's geographically close to you. That means it's faster. It means if there are any outages, there's another server that you can get it from there. So it's very good availability. Now they're offering, I think, something amazing, ultra low latency video streaming. So you can deliver your video with CashFly with the best throughput, the best global reach, making your content almost infinitely scalable. And with this, you can go live in hours, not days. Get this, sub 1 second latency. That's amazing. Ditch that unreliable WebRTC solution for WebSocket live video, scalable to millions. CashFly's ultra low latency video streaming. They also have something we've been using kind of unofficially for a long time and that I really like. They call it their storage optimization system. Basically, your cache hit ratio is 100% because you're storing on CashFly's servers. It takes a load off your origin servers, reduces your S3 bill or whatever you're using. And it means that whenever somebody wants to watch or listen to your content or download your game or whatever it is, your app, they're going to get it directly, instantly from CashFly. They have fully managed CDN solutions. Most people don't want to spend energy managing your CDN. I love it because we don't ever think about it. It just works, right? CashFly's elite managed packages will give you VIP treatment, 24/7 support, response times in less than an hour. Frankly, we've had VIP treatment since day one from CashFly. They're just a great company. So what do you get? Ultra-low latency video streaming, lightning-fast gaming, which delivers downloads faster, no lag, no glitches, no outages, mobile content optimization. So you have automatic and simple image optimization. That means your site will load faster on any device. And, of course, multiple CDNs for redundancy and failover. They intelligently balance your traffic across multiple providers, giving you the shortest route, mitigating against performance glitches. It works so well, CashFly has had 100% availability over the last year. Not 5 nines, not 10 nines, 100% availability over the last 12 months. 10 times faster than traditional methods on 6 continents, 30% faster than other major CDNs, a 98% cache hit ratio. CashFly. And best of all, of course, 24/7, 365 priority support. So you know they're always there for you when you need them. We love them. They've been great for us. Thank you, CashFly. And as I always say, bandwidth for the tech guy provided by CashFly at CACHEFLY.com. CashFly.com. You check it out. It's good for you, too. CashFly.com. Thank you, CashFly. And now back to the Tech Guy Show. He's been everywhere, man. He's breathing the mountain air, man. Mr. Johnny Jet, traveling guru. Travel better with tech. JohnnyJet.com. He's got newsletters there. He's on Instagram. He's on Twitter. And he's back home. Welcome home, Johnny.
Thank you. I called in the last couple of weeks, and I totally spaced it. You were going to be away because I was on a plane the week before that.
So you talked to Micah. You talked to Micah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Micah's great.
He's great.
He's really
great.
is.
I'm fortunate that I can take some time off and have somebody so wonderful take over. So, but I'm glad you're back. You survived.
I did.
You were gone a long time. Yeah.
7.5 weeks.
Best thing about travel, I've decided, is it makes you appreciate your home.
Well, we did some amazing stuff. We were on the East Coast, Canada, and I took my kids all over the place. And on the way from the airport home, I asked my son what was his favorite part.
Yeah.
And he was like, coming home.
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
Because you love your bed. You love your, you know, everything you've got at home, your coffee, whatever. But I mean, I love to travel. I look forward to it, of course.
Right.
In this case, Lisa and I both got COVID. We got, I'm sure, was the new BA5 version of COVID in our travels. I know some of the people cruising with us did also get it. I know of at least 3 other people that got it. You know, we kind of knew that was a risk, I guess.
So how are the flights going up? You flew out of Santa Rosa, right?
Yeah, which was great. But boy, and I brought with me that carbon dioxide monitor. The terminal, no fresh air, and nobody's wearing masks. And, you know, they have signs 6 feet apart. We're sitting, and somebody sits right behind me, like 2 inches away. And I'm thinking, oh, I guess you think because you're sitting faced another direction, it's okay. Nobody's wearing masks. We got on the plane. Nobody's, you know, maybe 1 in 3 or 1 in 4 people was wearing a mask. We wore them. And we still got it, right? We wore them like, we're very careful. In fact, two of my friends, Steve Gibson and Paul Thurrott, both said, Leo, you're almost a joke. You've been so careful for the last 2 years. Yeah. Just shows you.
I've been the same way.
Yeah. Just shows you.
So did you check a bag?
Well, it was a cruise. So we both had 50-pound bags.
And did you lose it? Did they lose them?
They didn't. Because my bag, Lisa's bag is not black. You saw the guy who ran the Frankfurt airport blamed it on, so many people have black bags, we can't tell the difference.
Yes.
No.
I wrote a post about that.
That's because they fired 4,000 baggage handlers at the beginning of COVID, and they've only been able to hire 1,000 back. That's the problem.
Totally.
I didn't lose any bags, although I do think it's a good idea to have I have a black bag, but it's a good idea to have a colorful bag.
I use Rome Luggage, which, by the way, they're on sale right now till August 2nd.
Sponsor? Are they a sponsor?
No, they're not a sponsor, but they did give me a free bag. And this was a while ago.
I don't even know. I use Briggs & Riley because that's the classic, right?
But what I love about them is that you can design your own. We talked about it once before.
Oh,
you have a million
so
different
they're not black bags. They're red and blue and green and all sorts of colors.
I have it all different colors. And
I have to say, they are, when you go to the carousel, they're all black.
They are.
They're
so,
all
you know, if you don't want to spend money on a nice bag, get a strap.
Yeah, you can get straps that say
bag.
hands off, it's not your bag, that kind of thing. Yeah.
But you need it. You need the strap like across. You need it on both directions, so you can see it if it's in a huge lineup.
Good idea. Yeah.
For that, and you know what? While
what
you're
I do?
away,
You know what I do is I have an air tag in my bag, which also I think is helpful.
I thought you told me you didn't like that idea.
No. I do. You shouldn't go. You shouldn't climb on the conveyor belt and down the chute to get your bag. People say, "Oh, I see my bag," and they literally, I don't know why they ever thought this was a good idea, climbed into the conveyor belt to get their bag. Don't do that.
I've never heard that's ridiculous.
But at least you know. Well, my bag
People
is
gotten killed that way.
Yeah, I know. The bag is around somewhere. Well, that's always the risk with these.
So you do drop an air tag in.
Oh yeah.
Okay, good. I thought
the only negative.
I thought a few weeks ago you told me not to. I drop one in.
I never said that. The only negative is every time you leave your cabin or leave your hotel room, your iPhone says you just left your bag behind. You left your bag behind.
Mine doesn't do that.
Well, you
I'm
can.
not sure.
So the trick on that is to go into your iPhone settings and say, I know where that's a safe space for my bag. And you just have to do it every time you get somewhere. That's a safe space. Don't tell me about it.
Okay, so I must have already done that. But one of the services I mentioned to Micah while you were away is called Blue Ribbon Bags. It's $5. They guarantee you that your bag will be at your destination airport within 4 days, 96 hours, or they'll give you $1,000. You spend $10, it's $2,000. And I'm like, please, lose my bag, especially the one with like dirty clothes. So that's a good little trick, although I've heard mixed reviews on it, but you can look into it.
Yeah.
But the best thing to do is not check a bag. You really don't want to check a bag. And if you're flying, let's say on KLM, they're not even taking a check bag right now because Amsterdam is such a mess. And
they're not even taking check. That's
a few days ago they weren't. I think they still aren't.
That's amazing. Yeah. No, I am a big believer, and you taught me this in carry on if at all possible. But in a cruise, you got to have a tuxedo. You got to have.
Did you wear the
mascot? You got to have your top hat, your monocle. You can't just go on with a carry-on.
Monocle. Well, I've done it. So I'm usually not the best dressed. I'm usually the least dressed. But
if you don't mind not dressing up for the fancy dinners, and if you have laundry service, or you don't mind rinsing your unmentionables in the sink.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, some nice cruises do give you laundry service.
Or you can buy it. It's expensive, but you can buy it.
That's ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we used to do it all the time, carry on. But now we have kids, we check a U-Haul truck.
Yeah, that's right. I actually used you as an example of somebody who at one time was very Spartan in their carry-ons, but then babies and diaper bags and playpens and, car seats.
Oh, yeah. In a few years, when these guys are old enough to carry their own clothes on the plane, their own bag, we're doing carry-on only.
Yeah.
But for now, U-Haul.
Other big news, JetBlue and Spirit. Frontier was trying to buy Spirit. That fell through.
Well, JetBlue just threw a wrench into that. I mean, I couldn't believe it. Everyone was upset with JetBlue because they did it at the worst time. It's when JetBlue was having these huge meltdowns during spring break. They couldn't get their own service together. And then they're trying to put in a bid to buy another that's already said they're going to partner.
Yeah.
But you know what? JetBlue would not let it go. Even though Spirit, the CEO, was like, not a chance. They just kept going after him.
So it was a hostile takeover.
Big time. 5 or 6 tries. And finally, they're like, the price was so high that everyone knew that Spirit was going to drop Frontier.
Is this going to jeopardize JetBlue? I mean, is this too much for them to pay?
I think if you're a JetBlue customer, you're happy. If you're a Spirit, you're not, because Spirit really...
People who fly Spirit are unhappy no matter what. That's the worst.
Well, the thing with Spirit is that they've allowed people who do not have the money to fly. You could buy $19 tickets. And,
well, that's good. That's a good thing. Yeah.
It is, especially if you know that they charge extra for carry-on, they charge for
that's
baggage.
The thing. They charge for everything.
But people who are savvy and are just flying and not checking a bag.
And are not too tall because there's not a lot of seat room or anything.
29-inch
Pitch. But pinch is a better word, to be honest.
It does pinch you.
Yeah.
But so I think the Spirit Airlines customers are not going to be happy because they're going to fly as JetBlue. They're going to
get rid of the super low prices, you think?
You know what? Right now they're competing. As they say, they're going to compete until this happens, which could take up to 2 years.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But
in general, any acquisitions reduce the size of the market, reduce competition, and in the long run, increase prices. I mean, I think that's just almost always how it goes. JohnnyJet.com. Read all about it at his website. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
They always say, oh, we're not going to change anything.
Right.
This is good for everybody. We're going to have more routes. They always say that. And then, 2 years later.
But we'll see if the government even allows it. But their argument is that they're going to be able to compete now with the big four, which is American, Delta, United, and Southwest.
Yeah, because they're number 5.
So these guys will be number 5.
Yeah.
And they said, you know what? We'll now be able to, put more fares in there and fly to different routes.
Does size matter in airlines? I mean, is it you have to have a certain size to make it?
No. But
I wouldn't think so. If you've got the right routes and you've got, the right business model.
Well, I think JetBlue believes that. Which is why they were like, we need to do it. It was like based on survival because one reason why they wanted Spirit is because Spirit had this huge order of planes, Airbuses.
They wanted
you can't buy planes right now.
They're
not making them fast
enough. That's interesting.
And they wanted pilots.
Yeah.
So, and they wanted their routes and their gates.
So they were at Santa Rosa. It was so funny. Alaska bought Horizon, so it's Alaska. And then there were 2 new airlines.
Avelo.
Avelo is one.
Yep.
And the other one was
Breeze.
like Aha or Hey. It was their first.
That one.
They had balloons. It was their very first flight out of Santa Rosa. Yeah. Let me see if I can find the name.
Aha.
Yeah.
But by the way, I did see that United's going to be pulling out of Santa Rosa.
What? Oh.
Yeah, which is a total bummer.
That's a bummer.
A lot of the airlines are pulling out of a lot of the smaller markets.
It's really nice.
Yeah, it's AHA. A-H-A.
AHA.
Exclamation point. Flyaha.com. It's Reno, Tahoe base. Yeah, I did read about it a long time ago.
You can only fly to like Tahoe. But that's actually kind of nice. I mean, for us. Yeah. It was great. It's an hour and a half to Seattle. It wasn't very expensive. I think it was a couple $100 round trip. And
you flew Alaska?
Yeah, it's Alaska operated by Horizon. Yeah.
Right. I gotcha.
And it was great. It was a very nice flight. We caught COVID on it, but that's, that could happen anywhere. Actually, I don't know where we caught it. That's the funny thing is you just don't know where you got it, right? You don't know.
Well, on our flight back from Dallas, we had a kid in the back, a row behind us across the aisle, 2 years old, would not stop coughing like a nasty cough, not wearing a mask. And I thought for sure we were done.
Everywhere. There are people hacking everywhere.
I had that little wind device, and I think they saved us.
Well, Lisa said on the flight out, there was a guy across the aisle. It's 2x2, so we were in our 2x2 across the aisle who had his head like this in his hands the whole flight.
Oh.
And so she thought.
Was he coughing?
I don't know. She just said it was like this the whole flight. So I don't know. We don't know. You don't know. You just don't know. He could have just been
as long as he's
tired.
not coughing. So
yeah, I don't know. Yeah. What are you going to do?
Anyway, I'm glad you're back.
And I survived. I'm safe and sound, and now I have a little extra immunity against Omicron. I'm happy about that.
Yeah. Now you should be going. Now you should be traveling the world.
Now I should. Well. Lisa's saying, should we go next year to Europe? And I said, yeah. Now we should go
next year. Yeah, this month.
Well, I don't think we're going to do that.
Speak to Dr. Mom. She'll know better.
We're going to drive. No, that's Dr. Mom. Our next trip will be. We're going to drive in our own car up to Seattle. That'll be our next trip. She wants to see more of Seattle. We're thinking maybe that's where we want to retire. So,
all right.
Yeah. So we're going to stop in Medford
and if you're quarantined this week and you're bored, I'll interview you. Talk about your whole cruise.
I'm out of quarantine, but I'll be glad to talk to you. Yeah.
It'd be fun.
Okay.
All right.
Email me. All right. Thanks, John.
Bye bye.
Leo Laporte, the Tech Guy, 8888. Ask Leo the number. We're doing a special thing this week. I'm going to take first-time callers only. I want to give everybody a chance to get in, like Dan, calling from Bakersfield, California. Hello, Dan.
Hello, how are you? I
Hi,
figured
great.
this was a good question for somebody who makes all kinds of broadcasts. I'm a musician, and I play 3 different instruments.
Nice,
So
nice.
I record them all into a DAW. I do it every single day, well, most every day, and it's a good routine. I enjoy it, but I'm looking to up my game a little bit, and I know that one thing that's missing is a live audience. So what I would like to do, if it's not too terribly complicated with my Mac Studio and my DAW, is to record a couple of tracks as I normally do, and then the final track play along with everything that was just broadcast
Yeah.
on YouTube.
I see a lot of
And
people
have a
doing
live
that.
audience. It would add another dimension to the music. What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah, or YouTube or Twitch or Facebook or Reddit. I see musicians streaming all the time. I love it. And they often, when they're doing it live, get some nice audiences. If you do it on Twitch, they might even throw you some money. They have a chat room going. There's all sorts of ways to do this. So
You're not associated with Twitch, are you?
no, Twitch and my podcast network is not related to Twitter or Twitch. We predate both. And I'm still hopping mad over that. But I have no relationship to either. Twitch actually is an interesting story. It was started by a guy named Justin Kahn who he was the first to live stream his life. He wore a camera in a backpack on his head. It was called Justin TV. And he'd walk around and you'd see his whole life. This was 20 years ago maybe, and it was very popular. Eventually sold it, or actually formed Twitch, renamed Justin TV to Twitch.tv, and then Amazon, of course, owns Twitch now. So I think Justin's retired. If we could watch his life, there would be golden swimming pools involved, but that's good. I'm glad, happy for him. So Twitch is a good platform for that, but you're asking more about the technical issue.
The technical issues, what hardware is needed, what's the easiest way to do that so I can take maybe 1 or 2 cameras and set them up, etc. So
the tool you probably will want to use is called OBS Studio. That's what all the streamers use. In fact, so much so that Twitch has taken the software and rebranded it, so they have their own version of it. But if you go to, it's free, obsproject.com. You can take a look at it. It runs beautifully on a Macintosh. Actually, I'd heard some people say it does not run well on the lower, slower M1 Macs, but as far as I know, it runs very well on the. You have the fancy new Mac Studio.
I have I didn't get the upper level chip, but it's the M1 Max in the studio.
Should be plenty to do that.
I'm really happy with the performance. I was on a Windows machine before that. And,
for a musician, there's no question. And you mentioned a DAW. Let me define that. That's Digital Audio Workstation. Whose DAW? Which DAW do you use?
I use Reaper because it's so simple.
Yeah, Reaper's great. Okay. So Reaper will let you record all those tracks and then play them back and record a final one, right?
From the video I saw, yes.
Yeah.
But I saw nothing that...
A lot of musicians do that. You at least would record maybe a click track. And so that's going tick, tick, tick.
And everything would have to be timed.
Yeah, and then you play, you're listening in your headphones to the click track, and then you play the guitar. Then you go back and you listen to the guitar and the click track, and you play the keyboard, blah, blah, blah. So
actually, the final track usually is the percussion, but that's because I play piano and bass.
Yeah, a lot of people go the other way. They lay down the rhythm track, and then they do that. But whatever you like. But that's, I mean, almost all DAWs will do that because that's a very, very common way. You know, that's how Tom Schott made the Boston album, right? He went down to his basement, and he didn't have a DAW or a computer. He did it on tape. Played back the tape and recorded another track, played it back, recorded another track. All DAWs will do that. And OBS, which is nice, will hook into whatever. It has essentially, it has two things. It's a camera switcher. It'll pick up your camera. Switching not so much, but you can. But the idea is you've got a camera stream, you've got a second camera stream, so you can do an inset. Typically with OBS, a lot of gamers use it. The main screen will be your game, you know, the screen coming off your computer, and then the other picture will be you playing the game. Then it also has a mixer, and you can say, I want the audio to come from this source, in this case, Reaper. And I want it to mix in with a microphone, which I'm going to be playing into. So you need a mic. Cameras and mic is all you need. OBS will handle all the kind of mushing it together.
So OBS also has some kind of hardware device to interface?
No, it's software only. The hardware device is your Mac. But you would need absolutely cameras and a microphone, right?
And how do you? I think I've got the audio part figured out, but how do you interface the video? Like, and what cameras should be used?
Well, you can, believe it or not, use your iPhone. In fact, that may be the best camera you have. Any camera that you have will work with the proper interface coming in over Thunderbolt into your Mac. But honestly, what I like and I would recommend is using. You have an iPhone?
No, but I will get one.
Well, you don't have to get. No. It's just that most people do. You can use an Android phone as well. So
my Note 9 works fine until it doesn't.
Yeah,
but it's been going great.
So I tried all these different cameras. I ended up using a program called Camo, C-A-M-O, from reincubate.com. You hook up, in this case, for me, because I'm doing it on a Mac, I have a lightning cable going into my Mac Studio. And then I run Camo on my iPhone, and I could put it in now. By the way, the iPhone camera is a great camera, so it's perfect for that. If you want, you can add the Reaper mix on there, which some people might enjoy. Or you could have another camera that's, you could do whatever you want. Basically, what you'd probably want to do without spending a lot of money on switchers and stuff is one camera on you. And then OBS will either let you do that full screen, or if you wanted to show the screen on your computer. In other words, if you wanted to show Reaper, you could do that.
Yeah, I don't need to really show Reaper. I just need to play back in time everything that's been recorded along with the video.
It's what I'm thinking about, and what you should think about is, what does the audience want to see? And then just decide.
Good question.
Yeah, what do they want to see? Well, you'll learn. Believe me, when you start doing it, you get feedback. You'll learn. Mostly they want to hear the great music, but they like to see you playing too. So I think it's a nice idea to have that camera. The other choice that you might want to look at, I think is very good, is a company called eCam, E-C-A-M-M. They actually would do the whole thing. They kind of replace, and it's made for the Mac, eCam Live. They'd replace OBS Studio. They'd pick up your iPhone. It would let you do all the stuff you want to do. A lot of people on Twitch and YouTube are using eCam. So that's another choice, eCamm.com. And so that's another excellent choice. That would let you switch more cameras if you decided you wanted one over your head and one behind you and one in front of you, one on your instrument, whatever.
Yeah, my mind will probably change, as you said, as I get into this. But all this is just to add a little kick to what I do, because I know it's being performed live. So
I think it's great. It's great. And, this is, you've probably seen this, but this is a huge thing on YouTube. People will, remember the sea shanty craze?
No.
A couple of years ago, maybe a year ago on TikTok, there once was a man. So somebody would sing a sea shanty, and then other people would add their instruments to it, and they'd build up these Brady Bunch-style screens with all the instruments. There's a lot you can do.
Goodness.
You are getting into an exciting area, and if you're a good musician, I know you are, I think, Dan, this is a great opportunity. I really do. eCam is probably the right choice for that Mac. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Camo will work with your Android phone, although not as well. I've used it with my Android phone.
I am totally prepared to get an iPhone. It's been 3 years.
I think it's time. Yeah, your Note 9's pretty old. Yeah. An iPhone is nice because it can double as a camera, but you can use anything for a camera. You can go out and get a Logitech cam. You don't need to spend a lot of money. And if it gets to the point where you really want to do a lot of switching, then you might want to get a hardware switcher. But now you're getting kind of crazy. I
envision just a single screen with 3 different windows in it. And the final window, say, for instance, on the bottom is me tapping out the beats to what I've just performed.
Perfect. Yeah. I think your first step is to go onto YouTube, and I would actually go to Twitch and look at musicians performing. I also see on Reddit. Reddit has a live thing. I would look at that. TikTok. I would look at people performing live and see what they're doing.
I was watching this guy this morning. He had 10 different squares of himself playing the sitar.
Exactly. He's playing to himself. So not only does he record the audio, he records a video track.
Yes.
And is that cool or what?
That's cool. And I thought, wow, I want to do that.
Yeah, you totally can.
Maybe not 10 squares of it, but...
So the way most people would do that is they would record that first, each track, and then on the computer screen, composite all those tracks, play them back, and then you have one live square that's you. And if you're doing it on the computer, you can add them in. You notice he doesn't add them all at once. He adds them as he starts playing and stuff like that.
Correct.
Yeah. So you could totally do that. OBS Studio is what a lot of people use. I think for a Mac, I think you probably should look at Ecamm. It's not free. OBS Studio is free and open source. But Ecamm you can try for free for a couple of weeks. And it's like $10 a month. It's not hugely expensive.
That doesn't sound too bad.
I think, and that's one of the reasons I mentioned Twitch is I know people make money on Twitch because you have a chat room, and that Twitch is set up for people to throw money at you to tip you. So I know a lot of people actually make a pretty good living on Twitch, believe it or not.
Well, that's good to hear. I like about half of what I do, so I'll make sure to broadcast it. I'll play the good half.
Maybe. You don't. My son is a TikTok star. I mean, he's got more than 2 million followers. And what he did, which I think was really smart, is he tried stuff and noticed the response. It's a feedback loop, and if you get good at, he pays attention to comments, to response, to how many follows, how many likes, and all that, and then he almost does A/B testing. Does this work better than that? And if you really do want to make the success of this, that's how you have to do it. You really have to, tailor it.
The success of it would be icing on the cake. That's not the purpose.
You just want to do it for fun. Yeah. I think you're going to love it.
If that happens, that's cool. I would gladly do the research on that.
Yeah, I think you're going to love it. Well, that's what happens. You start doing it, and then you go, this is great. I have 100 people watching. I wonder what it would be like to have 500 people watching. And what I would need to do to get that, et cetera, et cetera. It kind of it grows on its own.
Original music. So that
I think this is wonderful. I highly recommend you. I watch these guys all the time. I love it. Especially now when we can't go see music, right?
Well, this has been a great phone call. Thank you.
Enjoy. And definitely look at Ecamm, E-C-A-A-M. That's what most Mac people use. It's quite well supported.
Ecamm on Twitch.
Well, just look at ecamm.com. And then they support Twitch, so you can go. They support all of it. All of them. OBS does as well. They support streaming to any service.
Do you have a recommendation for an iPhone, or are they all about the same?
They're all, might as well get the new one. There'll be a new one out in a couple of months if you want to wait.
Okay.
The iPhone 14 comes out probably, they'll announce in September for an October ship date.
Well, it'll probably take me a couple of months to get my nerve up to do this anyway.
Oh, I think it's, and that's my suggestion is, to start small. You don't have to make it be the perfect thing right out of the box. Just, what happens a lot of times, people overbuy. They go crazy. And you don't really know what you need until you start doing it. So start small.
Good point.
Do little tests. Have fun. Make it fun. And slowly work your way up.
Now, I record in a very high-resolution audio, and does that matter to the end results as far as bandwidth or anything like that?
No, because what'll happen, your recording is going to get played back by your Mac, and then whatever software you use will take that input and do whatever it needs to do to make it work.
So 44 kilohertz, 16-bit probably.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Thanks, Dan.
Thank you.
Take care.
Love your show, man. Bye.
Thanks. I appreciate it. Well, hey. How are you today? Leo Laporte here, the tech guy. Yes, it's that time again. Time to talk computers, the internet, home theater, digital photography, smartphones, smartwatches, augmented reality, all that jazz. 8888 Ask Leo, the phone number. We're a first-time caller day today. I love it. Meeting a lot of new people. 888-827-5400. 5536. That's toll-free from anywhere in the U.S. or Canada. The website, and I put a lot of links up there today, especially from Johnny Jett and others. The website, techguylabs.com. techguylabs.com. That's free, no charge. And links will be up there later, maybe Monday or Tuesday. We'll put a transcript of the show up there, audio and video from the show. So it's everything that you need is right there. techguylabs.com. Lennon's on the line from Waco, Texas. Hello, Lennon.
Hi, Leo. How you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing great. I apologize. I didn't know that this was a first-time caller day. It's my third time calling.
Oh, well, that's all right. You know, we'll let you through in this case. It's good to have you back. Welcome, Lennon.
Thank you so much, because my daughter has been driving me up the wall with her
problems. What's going on?
Okay. I tried to call you last winter, well, before Christmas, because she really wanted a gaming PC, and I didn't know which one to buy her, and I couldn't get through. So I said, I'm pretty technical. I know what to get her. So I looked online. I said, saw this computer, said, okay, you can play Fortnite. It plays Roblox. It can play Grand Theft Auto, Apex Legends, all the games.
Well, that sounds pretty good. How old is your daughter?
She's 13.
So she's mostly playing Minecraft and Roblox at this point.
Correct.
Yeah.
And she plays Apex Legends, Fortnite, stuff like that also.
Yeah. Okay. None of those, by the way, are super challenging. So what'd you get?
I got her a computer from Viper Tech. I don't know if you've ever heard of this company. It's called a Flurry.
Okay. The Viper Tech Flurry. Certainly has a good name.
Yes.
What's wrong with it?
Well, she complains that it keeps crashing on her.
Oh, that's not good.
It crashes. Mostly in Fortnite and Apex Legends, it crashes and it lags real bad on her when she's playing with her friends and stuff. And she says she's trying to also stream it or record the gameplay. And she says when she plays it back, it's like very pixelated.
So this is not an issue probably of the manufacturer, but of the components that you chose to go into it. So tell me, do you remember, or do you know offhand what processor you put in there, what video card you put in there?
Well, it all came with it.
Yeah. I mean, they sell, I'm looking right now at their website, and they will sell a fairly low-end system. I would never buy, for instance, a gaming system that had 8 gigabytes of RAM, and they do sell those.
Oh, that's probably what I got there.
Yeah. So that's the good news is you got a tower case, right? It's not a laptop.
No, it's a desktop.
Yeah. So the good news is you can always add more RAM. That's the first thing you might want to do.
I did. That's the first thing I did.
Oh. Okay.
I added. Well, when I
do you know what the processor was in there off the top of your head?
I'm sorry. Say that one more time.
What's the processor? The CPU? Is it Intel?
I'm looking for it now on the CPU.
Yeah. It'll be the first thing in their spec. It'll say AMD Ryzen or Intel i5.
AMD Ryzen 5 1500X.
Okay. And the next one is the GPU. These are the two things that matter, the GPU. I'll tell you the truth about ViperTech, and I'm looking at their website. First time I've heard of them. They sell very low-end stuff as well as very high-end stuff. And so regardless of, it'll play, regardless of them saying it'll play those games, doesn't mean they will. You spent about $500 on it?
About 700, actually.
700. All right. Well, that's a good start. Gaming PCs are much more expensive. So they have on their website entry-level, mid-range, and high-end. Right. And anybody who's really doing gaming is going to say, what are these entry-level and mid-range? You can't play a game on those. And some of the things that she's experiencing probably mostly have to do with the video card. Do you know off the top of your head what AMD or NVIDIA graphics card's in there?
I'm looking at the screen now. It says AMD Radeon RX 560 4 gigabytes.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're not wrong, especially since you put extra RAM in there now. You certainly need 16 gigs. I can't believe any gaming machine company is selling 8 gig machines. You absolutely need 16, and most gamers would want more than that even. Oh, I see. You did say you got the Flurry. Let me look at the Flurry. I forgot you said that. I'm looking at that's in their mid-range.
Right, I'm looking at the page right now.
Great for streaming, they say. Well, that's what she wants to do. Sometimes if the streaming is blocky or pixelated, it could also be her settings and so forth.
Yeah, that's what I told her.
So you might want to work with her a little bit on, is she using OBS to stream? Do you know?
Yeah, she is.
Okay, so that, you know, this is by the way, great opportunity for the two of you, especially her, to learn. And if she wants to do streaming, she's got to learn how OBS works and what the tweaks are. And there certainly are plenty of YouTube videos helping her get the best out of that. You put 16 gigs. That was absolutely necessary. The Ryzen 5 1500X, not the fastest. The Radeon RX 560, not the fastest. But this is their mid-range system. I think it should be adequate, certainly, for her to play. Remember, if you're streaming, you're doing two things. You're playing the game, and then the computer is still working very hard to compress the video, to compress her image, and then stream it out on the internet. You're doing two things. That's why RAM is so important, and it's why you need a high-end processor. So it may not be enough of a machine for her to do a good quality stream. I just don't know. But it should be a good enough, now that you put the more RAM in, I think it should be good enough to play those games, but at a lower frame rate. And that's the other thing she's going to want to mess with. Roblox and Minecraft, no problem. They can run on very low-end stuff. You know, maybe not so much for Apex Legends, but you can go into the settings on Legends and lower the graphics quality, lower the resolution. You can play with settings to get, you know, what matters in games like that is frame rate and latency, because you're playing against other people online. And so she needs to be able to move quickly, and so she doesn't get attacked.
Okay. So basically you want me to try to drop the frame rate.
I say play with the graphics settings. What's your internet? Tell me what your internet speeds are.
OG 600.
Okay.
And I got it is
plenty.
Ethernet plugged in.
Plenty. Okay. So it's not a bandwidth issue for her. Yeah, the machine's probably working too hard. And so lowering the quality of the image on the screen will certainly help in responsiveness on Apex Legends and on Fortnite. Those two games, you know, responsiveness is what matters the most.
Okay.
You know, I'm looking at their website. It says meets minimum specs, meets recommended specs, and it does look like it supports. But look at this on meets recommended specs, FPS, low, medium, and high. Well, they're claiming it can do it. So it looks like, you know, based on their claims, it should be able to do it. So maybe play with the settings a little bit. Make sure she doesn't have other stuff running in the background that could be slowing it down. Did you put 16 gigs in? You put another 8 gigs in?
Right, correct.
That was very important. I'm glad you did that. Minimum specs, you know, often say 8 gigs. I don't know anybody who runs with 8 gigs of RAM. That's nuts. That's crazy talk.
Yeah, that was the first thing I did.
Yeah, you're smart. Yeah. You know, partly some of this is the stuff that PC gamers deal with. They spend a lot of energy trying to get everything to work optimally. What you got is not bad. Don't feel bad about that. I think it's certainly adequate to what she wants to do, but she just may need to do some tweaking.
Right. I wanted to get her. I like this. This was her first game on PC. I wanted to get her something that's entry level. I didn't want to go overboard either.
Yeah. No. You spent a lot of money. Are you kidding? That's You're a good dad. Don't knock that at all. That's a lot of money to spend on a gaming PC for a 14-year-old.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think just it's going to take some tweaking. There's nothing that you did wrong. Heat is something else to pay attention to. Heat can slow a machine down. Make sure that she's got the fan is working and it's cooling it properly, and it's not up against a wall. It's not blocking the fan, because what will happen as these machines get hot is they will slow down, and that could also be an issue.
Yeah, I pulled her desk away from her.
Good.
Desk away from
You're
the wall.
doing all the right things, Lennon. Yeah. Yeah. And it's summer in Waco. It's hot.
Oh God. We haven't had a day under 100 since.
I know. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh, we were in Alaska looking at where it was 60 degrees, looking back at the weather across the country, and it was just burning up. Heat is bad for these things. You know, that's another Another thing to be aware of.
I know, and she's upstairs too. And heat rises.
Oh yeah,
plays upstairs.
I used to stick my kids upstairs too. It's good for the Constitution. Develop strong bodies. Yeah, if you can maybe blow a fan over it, then something like that. Just get that heat away from it. That's going to help too.
All right, Leo.
Hey, Lennon, a pleasure. I'm glad you called, and I'm sorry that it's not living up to her expectations, but that's true for all teenage kids.
True.
That's life. Life's not living up to their expectations.
Right. It's not fair either.
It ain't fair. No. You know what? She's very lucky. I don't know a lot of parents that would go out and buy this very nice machine and then spend the time to make sure it works right. Good on you, Lennon.
Thank you so much.
All right. Have a good one. Stay cool. Hey. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. More of your calls coming up. Stay right here. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. 8888. Ask Leo, the phone number. Doug on the line from San Clemente, California. Hello, Doug.
Leo.
Doug.
How you doing?
Good. How you?
Good, man. I'm entering the sharing economy. I just booked my first pool rental on Swimply. Not sure if you've heard of Swimply.
You're not making this up, are you? Swimply. I love the name.
You can rent pools by the hour.
Rent private pools. So you go on there, and there's a guy down the block who's got a pool he's not using. You can rent it. I think that's actually smart. How many pools are just not being used most of the time?
It's the Airbnb of pools.
By the way, you can also list tennis courts if you wish.
Excellent.
Yeah. Well, you must live in an area where San Clemente, there are probably a lot of pools, right?
A lot of pools not being used, I guess.
Yeah. Sure. You know how it is. You build a house, you build a pool, you never use it. I understand that. So good. Right. So have you done this before, or is this your first time?
First time this afternoon.
How much an hour are we talking?
$60 an hour.
Okay. You going to bring the kids?
Yep. Bringing the kids.
I think that's great. I like this idea.
Yeah, and you can bring a hot dog or they've got a grill, and each person has different.
Yeah, it's like Airbnb. Yeah, and you can look at a picture and you look at ratings and all that.
Exactly.
Nice. I love this.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Well, have a Swimply wonderful time.
Thank you, sir.
What can I
question?
Yes.
Yeah, about network video recorders. So I've had Nest cams for a number of years. I recently put in a Firewall Gold router.
Oh yeah.
Seen just how much data is being sent to Google servers.
Oh, you don't even want to know.
I unfortunately now I do know, because Firewall is telling me exactly how much data.
Each camera, when you're using something like those, can be sending as much as a megabit per second, because you're sending high definition video. And as you know, with those cameras, when you want to see what those cameras are outputting, you don't just go to the camera, you go to the website. It's all being sent to Nest so that you can go to the web page and see it. So you're basically, those cameras, which are always on, are uploading all the time high def video, megabit a second per camera. What did you get?
Well, and especially I have an old drop cam, and it's even more bad.
Oh yeah, that's when I discovered this. Yeah, we put in drop cams, and all over the studio. That's when I discovered you got to have a lot of bandwidth if you're going to do this.
So anyway, I'm thinking about bringing it on site. I looked on Amazon, and they're saying Reolink is a way to go. But just wanted to get your opinion. If I'm tired of the cloud services, I want to bring my security cameras back on site. I'm looking at a power over Ethernet setup. I already have some power over Ethernet devices. I've got some PoE hubs, switches, so I'm good on that front. I know there's Lorax, there's Swan.
Oh, there's so many companies that do this. This is a really common thing.
Overwhelming.
It is overwhelming. I don't actually have any experience with any of them, so I'm not going to give you firsthand experience. Reolink looks quite good. Remember that the ideal would be that even though they're getting power over the Ethernet, that's not going to be Ethernet on your main router. That you want to give them their own network, because otherwise they're still gonna drive your network crazy.
Right.
It looks like they've got some good stuff. Here's what I would say is important. You want to, and it's a little less important with these, but with any time you put a camera in the house, you want to make sure they're secure. So, one of the things about the cloud is, and this one of the reasons Google's probably a good choice. You want to, anybody who's a cloud provider, darn well better secure all that data. It better be encrypted on the way to the server. And Wise got in a bunch of trouble. We've been recommending the Wise Cam because they had a horrible security flaw and they didn't disclose it right away. That's a cause for concern. So storing it locally actually is one way to handle that, isn't it? Because if you're storing it locally, it's not going over the public internet. Then all you have to worry about is, well, it's on my network. If it's got a flaw, can somebody use it as a gateway into my network? And that's true of all IoT devices. So that's why probably the ideal would be, if you can, have it on an isolated, either a VLAN or its own network. But other than that, this looks pretty good. I have no opinion. Maybe somebody will call in. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. I'll have to, I'll really have to check. You're reading the reviews, I suppose.
Yeah.
I just don't have much experience. The only thing I have any experience with is Synology has a security camera system. It's what we use here. And that's...
I saw that.
Yeah, it's a NAS, right? So they really, their business is selling hard drive, networked hard drive storage. But they have, among other things, they have a security system that you can use with that. So that's the only one I have any experience. That's what we use, right, John, is Synology? And John uses Synology Station at home. We're very, very happy with Synology Station. But it adds to the expense in the sense that you're now buying a big Synology as well. But Synology knows how to do storage. You're going to buy storage from Reolink or anybody else as well. And Synology has IP-based cameras. They have doorbells. They have all that stuff. So that's the only company I have any experience with. And John uses it at home. We use it here. Mike B likes it. I mean, I think that I would have no hesitation in recommending that. Yeah. I mean, just for the price point, I've been on Reddit on all the home security boards and all that, and well, that's a great start.
Price point Rio just seems pretty. It's not, nothing's perfect, but
I mean, it looks. I'm on the website. It does look good. Yeah, I would certainly. Join the Rio subreddit, the Synology subreddit. Look at what people are using, the home security subreddit. That's actually a very good idea. I always do that before I try any of these things.
Yeah. Well,
the other company that I haven't used their home security, but I'm aware of is Ubiquiti. I have a Ubiquiti network. If you had a Ubiquiti network at home, they also have IP stuff. But we've been using Synology in the studio for as long as we've been here. And it's been fantastic. Easy to add.
I tell you, I've got that firewall of gold as the core of my network.
That's a smart.
And that thing is.
That's smart.
It is awesome.
Yeah, I was going to ask you how you like that. That's a really cool device.
Loving it. Migrated from Google, the Google Pucks, the now Nest Wi-Fi.
Yeah, this is much better than that. Yeah.
Much better. Well, I'm I guess semi-sophisticated user. I've got a couple VLANs. I got about 80 devices on the network, and but I it doesn't come with access points. So I've got the TP link.
Yeah, good choice.
Again, great price point, and so far so good. Really increased my wireless bandwidth on my iPhone and laptop from say 100 megs up to 300-400 megs download speed.
Wow, that's nice. That's really nice.
So I'll call back in sometime, and maybe we can talk about Firewall Up.
I'd love to. Yeah, I meant we ran out of time. I would have loved to ask you about that. Yeah. Good.
I'm really impressed with their support, too. They're just on it.
Well, this is on the podcast, and that's all that really matters. So everybody's hearing it.
Right. Okay.
Hey, I appreciate it, Doug.
Awesome, Leo.
Enjoy your pool. Apparently, KTLA did a piece on a dog walking solution similar to that called Sniff Spot.
Oh, I'll tell my wife.
Oh, my God.
Dog walking
Sniff Spot lets homeowners rent out their dog park, I guess. What a world, right? What a world. Fully fenced dog
what
park.
a world.
Yeah, what a world. It's all online.
What do they say? Buy utility, rent luxury. Burl. I'm practicing.
Oh, I like that. Buy utility, rent luxury. Ooh, that's a good one. Burl. I'm going to remember that. Thanks, Doug. See ya. Got to run. I like that. I'm sailing. You should have played these before I left. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Yes, I'm back. Thank you so much, Micah Sargent, for filling in. And I know Kim Schaffer and Professor Laura helped a lot. Our studio manager, John Slanina, who really comes through always in a pinch. Thank you for helping out. We were talking about home security cameras with Doug. And John, at home and here in the studio, we use Synology's security solution. Synology's a network-attached storage maker. So they sell those big honking containers that you put hard drives in. And actually, it was smart of them. They said, well, what could we use those hard drives for? Oh, security footage. So they also have a IP-based security solution. And I know Synology is very secure. So that's another one for sure to look at. And we've got that's the testimonial. So we've been very happy with Synology. 8888 Ask Leo, the phone number. GizWiz Dick Debartolo coming up. Meanwhile, Sam's on the line from Tustin, California. Hi, Sam.
Hi. How are you, Leo?
I am well. How are you?
I'm a first-time caller, long time listener.
See, this is good. This is good.
I heard today that today was a special day for us.
It's a special day.
Yeah. I have a simple question.
Yes.
I use YouTube. I listen to YouTube videos and then download to my storage on a tablet.
What do you use to download YouTube?
Well, I don't want to say. You had given it about 3 weeks ago. And
okay.
I tried that.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Yeah. I don't want to say because the Google will stop it. Yeah. Okay. And it's a German thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't want to say that one.
Okay.
But so when I upload to Google's app.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
And then I do a search on that saying recently added. Okay.
Okay.
I just put the word recently added.
Yeah.
And it shows me what was added Tuesday, what was Wednesday, this day. But now when I see the videos, some of them shows, the picture of the video, what the video is about.
Yeah.
But some videos show completely dark blank screen, that is space, which is like a 1-inch square.
Huh.
And it shows how long the video is. It shows.
But you just don't get the so-called thumbnail.
Yeah,
and is that in the Google search results only? I mean, if you went to YouTube, you'd see it, right?
Yeah, YouTube, I see the whole thing. But it's on the photos, and it hasn't bothering me for a long time. And I say, I've been thinking about asking you for a few months now. Then, look.
I'm glad you called.
But then.
So you're doing, okay, so you're searching, let's say you like Veritasium's videos on YouTube. They're very good science videos. So you search YouTube space, Veritasium space, recently added. That's what you search for?
No. On the Google app, the Google's app, the one app which is in my storage.
Oh, on the phone?
Yeah, on the phone.
Oh, okay, not on the web. Okay, so you
not on the web. No.
I see. No, so you're in the Google
YouTube,
app.
From the YouTube, I've downloaded nicely the video in my.
Oh, I see. You're searching your local storage. I get it now. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Well, I'm connected Wi-Fi. I'm connected on a Wi-Fi to the network, internet, and then I'm starting the Photos app on my tablet.
You've downloaded it into Google Photos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then on the app itself, I start the photo app. And then
will it eventually show the thumbnail, like maybe in a week or two?
No. It has never.
Never. It's just dark.
And that is I have a tablet, Samsung tablet, and I have another one phone, old Asus tablet, which it's happening the same. Even though I should say that my the Android is 9, not 10 or 11 or 12.
So the way YouTube works, those videos, the YouTuber can pick what's called a thumbnail. When you upload it, you can say, I want my thumbnail to be this.
Yeah.
It's my guess that when you use the YouTube downloader.
Yeah, the same downloader I use.
It's my guess that it's throwing out some of that, we call it metadata, additional data beyond the video that says things like what the thumbnail should be. In which case, the default in Google Photos would be the first frame of the video. On some videos, in fact, I wouldn't be surprised if it's fairly common, the first frame may be dark. It may be blank. In fact, you could test it by playing that video. You'd have to be very quick and see if you can see a blank frame. But I wouldn't be at all surprised if in those cases, those videos have blank frames. And so when you see a blank thumbnail, it's just the first frame of the video. You want to see something from the video, right?
So that I can recognize it. So these dark spots I played, I say, oh, okay, this one is that one, So what I was doing was in the photo app, there is an edit in there. So I would say, let me see edit. I can cut off the beginning frames of the video, But
there is actually a way to do this. So I'm looking at a Google Photos help, and it says, video thumbnails are always the first frame of the video, which for most people is black. So there we go. Now we know. What you would like to do is to set a thumbnail in the Google Photos. So how do you choose the thumbnail? I think you should be able to, in editing, select a thumbnail, but maybe not. Maybe not. Oh, wait a minute. Let's see here. Scooter X, our master chatter, who's very good on quick on the Google, how to set video thumbnails. Yeah, well, that's the one I'm looking at, which doesn't have an answer, Scooter. Let's see. Here's the reply. Tried some more things. Blah, blah, blah. Tried downloading the services. I think this is just the way it is. Unless we can find a way to set video thumbnails in Google Photos, this is what you're going to get. Not all of them, though. It's interesting. But the ones... So it's essentially the first frame. There is something you could do, kind of annoying, but you could do it, is edit the video and cut off the first few frames.
How do I edit?
Any video editor
I see.
would let you do that. Can you edit Google Photo videos and edit videos in Google Photos? That's an interesting.
Photos have on the top,
they have an edit button.
Edit, but I saw edit and I see all the frames.
But I don't know. Open. So you can adjust. So you open Google Photos, select the video, open the editor menu, and tap on adjust from the bottom menu. And I'm going to guess that there is somewhere that'll show you a scrubber.
Doesn't show me on.
Doesn't show you a scrubber.
No.
How to use Google Photos to edit video. I'm looking at some websites here that say, download the Google Photos app on your Android phone, edit icon, trim. What you want is trim.
Okay.
And now you can trim your video by choosing the desired start and end points of the clips. So, it says you can do this. So trimming, don't trim much because you don't want to really cut off the budget of the video. You just want to cut off the first frame or two. Now, it's not going to be the ideal thumbnail. It's not going to be the same thumbnail that the YouTuber chose, but at least you'll see something.
I can visualize.
I'll put a link in this show notes to the article I'm looking at that definitely says, you can trim. Trim is probably the word you're looking for. You want to trim that video, which means just trim off the first few things.
And these are called thumbnails, technically. So
thumbnails is what the So people who make videos don't necessarily want the thing that shows up on YouTube to be the first frame. They want to pick it.
Yeah.
So that's called a thumbnail, and they can, in their Google Video portal, they can say, you know, pick this part of the video to use the thumbnail. You can't do that. Well, probably you could with a video editor, but in Google Photos, you could just trim it off. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Let me see here. How to fix no thumbnails in yeah, there seems like no, this is not it. This is not it.
You have put show, you know.
I'll put a link in the show notes. What it really, it's good for you to understand what's going on is that the YouTuber's chosen thumbnail is disappeared when you download it.
Can I take some more time for
Sure.
I'm a long time. I'm a techie guy, not a techie, but I used computer in 1968.
What? What kind of computer was it?
IBM 1600.
Nice.
I did my research, a master's, you know, thesis on that.
Are you a physicist? Are you a mathematician?
No, I'm an engineer.
Engineer.
Yeah,
nice.
I started with IBM in the 1968.
Awesome. Oh, you are a techie.
And no, well, I was a techie.
You're old school.
And I was a system engineer, IBM, and I used to read the dumps.
Oh my God.
The IBM 360 dumps.
Were they in hex?
Yeah.
Hex dumps. Wow.
You know, 41 and register 11, register 10.
My God. So you were looking at the machine code.
Yeah, machine code. And then I went into sales. Totally, I went into sales.
Because that's where the money is.
Yeah, money is DP. And then IBM transferred me to Singapore.
Oh, nice. I love Singapore.
Yeah, very beautiful. And we used to market IBM computer to India from Singapore.
Oh, what fun. Sounds like fun.
Fun job.
How long were you in Singapore?
I was 10 years in Singapore.
Oh, my gosh. You must speak Malay now, right?
Go back and live there.
I think Singapore is beautiful.
Beautiful country.
Love it.
Much more ahead in techie and
super
and all
techie.
that.
That's why they shoot Westworld there, because it looks like the future.
I don't want to do all that history. I have a quick question.
Yes.
Should I buy tablet Android or
iPad's the best tablet, easily.
Yeah.
Google lately has started to make moves to make Android more appealing for tablets, but it's still way behind because almost all Android software is designed for a phone. So get an iPad.
I bought the Chromebook on your device about 3 years ago.
Good.
And I'm not happy because there are only certain things you can do in there.
Yeah, it's very limited. See, you need something you can run Fortran on.
Yeah. But listen, I still have a Dell XP machine, which works perfectly.
Of course.
I don't use it on the internet, you know, just my own.
Yeah.
So I'm a little techie, you know, more and more now. All your questions are being you know, like
you're soaking them up like a sponge.
Mobile centric.
Nice.
Nothing about.
Isn't that interesting how times have changed?
Yes.
But if you think about it, that Android phone in your pocket was so much faster than an IBM 1600.
It's a computer. It's 100 times.
It's a supercomputer.
Than IBM 1600.
Yes, it's a supercomputer.
Yeah.
Hey, anyway, Sam, what a pleasure meeting you. Call back again.
Thank you. I'll call.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. All right, Mr. Dickie D, who is living in the state of anxiety.
Yeah, and I'm on Dean's list.
Oh, you went to anxiety state. You're on the Dean's list of anxiety state.
And I'm living in it.
I get it.
I think 75% of the country is living in it.
Was it really hot this week?
Someone in the chat room just said that it hit 90 in New York.
Yikes.
I think
we had 90 here. 90's not that bad.
I think we're showing a little bit.
90's not that bad.
88. Okay.
Oh, that's nothing.
Myra said it's only 88.
It's only 88. It's disco time. Here he comes, dancing across the tech guy dance floor. He's looking good in his satin suit and his high-heeled boots. Mr. Dick Debartolo, Mad's maddest writer, and our gizwiz and disco fiend. Hello, Dickie D.
How are you, Leo?
I see you're wearing
outside
your... What? Besides COVID? I'm fine.
Yes.
I'm feeling much better now. Thank you.
Good. Oh, great.
Oh, yeah. I tested negative twice now. I'm good. It's all over, man. I see
okay,
you're wearing...
I have 4 shots, too. So
Yeah.
if I get it, it was mild for you?
Yeah, it was like a cold.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm not saying that would be true for everybody, certainly. But in fact, Lisa, who also got it at the same time, we should have stopped kissing, I think. My wife... So it's okay. It's been a little worse for her. She says, I don't ever want this again. So I guess it really does depend on the person. But yeah, still be careful, I think, right?
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I see you're wearing your college colors.
It is, yeah. I went to anxiety state and was on the dean's list, and I am still in anxiety state.
That's the state of normal state these days, isn't it?
Yes, I saw in some poll that 75% of the country said I'm anxious. So,
wow,
it's a big college.
There's
campus.
plenty to be anxious about. Yeah.
Yes.
We're all living on campus at anxiety state.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Well, cheer us up. You always bring something fun and interesting.
Yeah. You know what? This is a fun thing. So there was an event in the city called Sweet Sweet. It's a toy event of toys that are coming out in the fall.
See? Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So this one is great fun. It's Air Titans, Jurassic World, Attack T-Rex. Okay.
It's your very own T-Rex.
Yeah. So this is great fun. This is 6 feet tall.
Oh, it's huge.
It's huge. Okay. And it's remote controlled, but they have a little, let the T-Rex have control so he can chase you around. Okay.
Wow.
And yeah, I mean, it's not well, for what it is, it's not that expensive. It's $130. Okay.
Well, but for a 6-foot Tyrannosaurus, I think that's a good deal.
Yeah. And in the foot is a constant air system so that as he moves around, he stays totally inflated.
It's inflated.
And it has a dozen dino sounds. And actually, unlike other events, kids are allowed at Sweet Sweet. And also, a lot of kids at Sweet Sweet are becoming millionaires because their channels and their videos.
Oh, yeah. That's big on YouTube, yeah.
Oh, my gosh, absolutely. So this is starting to ship now. I believe for the first few months, it's exclusive to Walmart.
Is it on wheels? What is it?
It's on wheels. Yes, it's on wheels.
And it's not attached to anything. It's a standalone. No. There's no wire.
No wire. No wire. It has a 2,000 milliamp battery and the fan system in one of the legs that inflates it. And then you control it with the remote control. Or as I said, you can give it's called attack mode. You put in attack mode and then the Rex is free.
I love this. I definitely want one of these.
He can decide where he wants to go. Yeah, I think it's pretty neat. I think they're going to do well with it. And I was sort of amazed that it's supposed to be scary, but kids kept running over and chasing it around, wanting to hug it.
Real. Yeah. They know. Yeah. They're not dumb.
Well,
so Walmart has it. It's $130.
Yep. And it's from Jakks Pacific, and it's called Air Titans Jurassic World Massive Attack T-Rex.
Remote control reflatable RC over 6 feet long with more than a dozen T-Rex sound effects included. Its signature T-Rex stomps and I want to hear the sounds. Do you have the sounds?
You know, the sounds are on the video that I added on. I added on their 30 seconds.
So I can go
so
there.
Later on when you you can
let's see here. I got you talking.
Comes in a box.
I got the nice lady.
Oh yeah, go toward the end. I think it's the last 30 seconds of the video.
Yeah, there it is.
There it is.
It's fearsome. It's fun.
That's the sound?
Well, they've done a bit of amplifying it.
Roar. Roar. I love it. Okay, I think that's a very cute tool. Now, I should say. Now, if you want to know more, you can go to Dick's website. He is our gizmo wizard. So his website is gizwiz, Gizwiz.biz. Yeah, I see it all rhymes. Gizwiz.biz.
That's very clever.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, whoever thought of that? Smart person. Click the button that says the Gizwiz visits the tech guy. While you're there, you might want to play Dick's little game. What the heck is it? Now, the What the Heck Is It contest shows you a close-up of a gadget. It's going to end at in one more month. So you got a month to end of August to identify this little, I don't know. It hooks on. It does something. I don't know. You're in the running for autographed copies of Mad Magazine. Dick autographs them his very own self. And it is the horror.
You'll be playing for the October issue.
Yeah. Well, it's scary.
And you will have yours. Mine came yesterday, so by next Saturday.
Thank you. That's very nice of you. Dick sends me a copy
okay.
of every Mad magazine.
That's okay. The cover is black, so I had to go to Staples and buy silver pens.
Oh, yeah.
So that I could find a way
Look
to
at that, though.
them.
That's going to look good. So the way it works is there's 6 autographed Mad magazines for the right answer. There's 12 for the wrong answer. If there's a collision, if there's more than 12 or 6, then he does a drawing. Anyway, all the rules are at the website, gizwiz.biz. I think they're going to sell a lot of these. I think it's perfect if you're in if you go to anxiety state, because it will improve heighten your anxiety state to have a T-Rex chasing you around campus.
I think you're right.
Yes. Gizwiz.biz. Dickie D, I hope you have a wonderful... Did you, you worked with Micah the last 2 Saturdays?
Yeah, he's really adequate.
Yes.
No, I said, Michael.
That's what I said.
Micah, I know. I said, Micah, you are really great. Yeah. I said, forgive me, I'm going to tell Leo that you're just so-so. But, no, I think you must be relieved that you have somebody that if you want to take more days off.
I am. And some people were asking about Rich DeMuro, who is, of course, the KTLA tech reporter.
Yeah.
And Rich is absolutely still in the mix for fill-in. I've been working with Micah for the last 6 months. I just really wanted to give him a chance to solo. And I thought this was a perfect time to do it. And it
was great fun. We had great fun.
Yeah, so that's great. Thank you, Dickie D. Have a wonderful
See you next week.
We'll see you next week.
You too.
And thank you all for joining us on the Tech Guy Show. It worked really well to do first-time callers today, didn't it? Gave everybody a chance to get in. I hope our regulars don't feel too slighted, but I think we're going to keep doing that for a little bit of time. So write down the number, 8888 Ask Leo, and come by next time. And I will take your calls. Maybe we get to ring that "We Got It Right" bell again. Once or twice. If you enjoyed the show, or you have questions, you should know about the website, techguylabs.com. We put all the shows up there, audio and video after the fact. We also put the show notes with links to things I've mentioned. So if you hear something and you're saying, "Oh, what did he say? What was that?" It'll all be there, techguylabs.com. And yes, that's free. There's no sign up. I don't need your money. I don't need your email address. It's just like webs used to be. You just wander in. Everybody knows your name. You go in, you say hi. Nobody knows your name. Nobody. Nowadays, that's more important. Thanks to Professor Laura, musical director. Great job. It's good to be back. I'm not sailing away for a while now. I shall stick around. Thanks to Kim Schaffer, our phone angel. Thanks most of all, of course, to you. Couldn't do the show without your calls and your ears. Keep listening, and I will be back next time. Leo Laporte, the Tech Guy. Have a great geek week. Bye-bye. Well, that's it for the Tech Guy Show for today. Thank you so much for being here. And don't forget, TWIT, T-W-I-T. It stands for This Week in Tech, and you'll find it at twit.tv, including the podcasts for this show. We talk about Windows on Windows Weekly, Macintosh on Mac Break Weekly, iPads, iPhones, Apple Watches on iOS Today, security on Security Now. I mean, I can go on and on and on. And, of course, the big show every Sunday afternoon, This Week in Tech. You'll find it all at twit.tv. And I'll be back next week with another great Tech Guys show. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you next time.